colors of summer are here, and Woodward Sports is all over the Motor City with the White Claw Tigers Tour. Come party with Woodward Sports, watch the Tigers, and sip on some White Claw all summer long. The best bars, big giveaways, live events, and a party that only Woodward Sports can throw. Ain't no party like a Woodward Sports party. Join us from 5 to 7 with the heavyweights at Second Best Bar in Detroit for the White Claw Tigers Tour, brought to you by White Claw, Easttown, and Van Johnson.
Hey guys, it's Woodward Sports live at Cherry Creek Golf Club here out in Shelby Township.
My neck of the woods.
Are we in Shelby?
That's right.
We are.
We're in Shelby. Hey, welcome in. It's the DSMA, the Detroit Sports Media Association charity golf scramble out here. We are live. Woodward Sports, Tom Mazaway alongside Anson Wells. Pete's in the house.
Sir.
Ricky's running a little bit behind. We'll get him rolling here in just a little bit. We wish our guy Ryan Ermanni the best. Obviously, you guys have heard by now Ryan's not here.
He's live right now.
He is live. He's against us. So if you want politics, go listen to Ryan. Anyway, here we are, man. Welcome in.
Yeah.
How was your 4th of July weekend? Mine was, it wasn't long enough, but it felt good.
Tremendously uneventful, which is just fine with me.
That's good. Pete, how about you?
You know me in the cocoon, lots of baseball card ripping, played some poker, cashed a few tournaments this weekend, so did pretty well, and just had a good weekend. Tommy, how about you? Were you in the pool?
I was in the pool. I was. Freaking pool's 90 degrees. It's not even, doesn't even feel good to get in the pool. I never thought I'd complain about my pool being 90 degrees. It's from the sun. I don't have a heater, guys, so
it's not even refreshing at that point.
No, I might have to scoop some water out and then put the hose in.
Maz is not a jacuzzi guy.
Get the cold water in there again.
You don't like jacuzzis, you said.
I'm not a big jacuzzi guy.
No, he's not.
I'm not. It's too hot.
You throw some ice cubes in that pool.
Maybe I'll do that. Anyway,
so
guys.
they got the East Side team here on the East Side. This is Golf Course Central. You got Greystone, you got Glacier, you got Cherry Creek where we are today. But this whole area where I grew up in, it got blitzed by all these fine golf courses out here, and Cherry Creek is easily one of the best of them.
I like your Canadian tux, by the way.
Well, this is not denim, sir. This is a Macomb County tuxedo.
You look good.
Thanks, man. A little linen. I don't know if you know about this.
Wish I could throw that look.
You can. You can. We'll go down to Mexico together.
Right.
But I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a frequency to fabric.
There is.
It is, and our bodies operate and vibrate at a frequency, and there are healthy and unhealthy frequencies.
Okay.
The most unhealthy,
polyester.
Very much so.
Yes.
The most healthy, linen.
Linen.
That's
linen.
right. As well as what do they make out of that? Hemp. And then cotton kind of on the less side, but those are about the only 3 healthy fabrics.
Where does velvet lie?
Velvet.
Ooh.
I want to be draped.
What is that, velvet?
Yeah, what was that, velvet? That's why I brought it up. Where does it lie? Where does that lie in the
I want to be
rundown?
draped in velvet like George Costanza.
Now, have you seen Maz in golf attire?
I've not.
I'm not
That's
sure.
about as close as you're going to get.
This is more Tommy Bahama than
Yeah.
Arnie Palmer.
I know. I made a choice. I didn't realize it was only going to be like 70 degrees and windy.
It feels damn good, though. Let's be real.
It does feel great. It does feel great.
Got the dog in the car with the windows down. She's super happy.
Oh, God. That's great.
Yeah, everywhere I go, man. Layla goes with me.
I know that.
I'm waiting for her to be able to drive. Yeah, I did take her to his daughter's graduation party. He did not allow her in until the last hour. So
It was 185 people. We're pretty crowded, and I see this guy walking down the street with a dog.
He told me I could bring a date.
A dog. I'm like, okay.
Are you judging me?
No, I'm not judging you.
I hope not.
I'm not.
Layla's a beautiful woman.
That's right.
Beautiful
she
girl.
is.
She's all woman.
That's right.
She is all
And
woman.
Mr. B word over here, I appreciate you never referring to her as
No,
that.
I will never do that. I'm a dog lover. Come on, man.
But you don't have one. When was the last time you have a dog?
Yes, I have Jeter.
Yeah.
Where was Jeter at the party?
We shipped him off to Grandma.
Oh.
And he had Boomer before that.
Yes.
Good old Boomer.
I want to meet Jeter.
You know why? Because dogs don't belong when there's a party of 185 people.
Cap.
No cap.
That's total cap. I love that he knows cap now.
I do, but we haven't done it in such a long time. I had to make sure.
So did you name Boomer
means lie.
after the quarterback?
Boomer is named after, honestly, Chris Berman and the quarterback.
They worked together, didn't they?
Yeah,
Okay.
a little bit.
All right.
Chris Berman, Boomer, and obviously Jeter, one of a kind. That's what he is. My next one, I'm not sure yet. We'll see. I think I'm going to get a girl dog the next time.
Well, you know my last one, Clyde Frazier Wells.
I know. And you know my favorite basketball player of all time.
Clyde Frazier not Wells.
That's right. Anyway, folks, welcome in to Woodward Sports. Again, we're at Cherry Creek Golf Club in Shelby. Come on down. I see the guys right over here. They're shooting off. What do they call that?
That
over
would
there?
be the
That's the
putting
range.
green and the driving
Putting
range.
green and the driving range. There you go. There you go. Right there to our right. So.
And Darren McCarty's right behind you, walking
Hey.
off the ninth green.
Hey, Mac.
There he is.
There he's walking.
He's
off
hard to spot.
Yes, exactly. Nothing like a guy with big, bright red hair.
Shout out
you
Lady
can't miss
Janes. It's
him,
wicked
baby.
awesome.
Yeah, they do his hair up really good there.
Bethany does.
Yes,
She's fantastic.
Bethany's. Yep.
Hey, Mac's going to have his own tournament here in a few weeks.
Is he?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Always
fantastic.
Always has the D-Mac one.
These retired athletes really they embrace the golf.
They do.
They really do.
They do.
They do.
Hey, let's chat about yesterday. I'll tell you about the Detroit Tigers.
Ooh.
Do it.
Because this weekend, you couldn't get 3 better games
Oh,
to watch. They were playoff games. I felt like it was last year in the playoffs. All one-run games until yesterday, until the 10th inning yesterday. Phenomenal pitching on both ends. Not such good hitting on both ends as well. But the Tigers get their first sweep in Cleveland in 10 years.
Wow.
beautiful.
10 years,
How about that?
Man, it was a decade of futility. Finally coming to an end, though. Honestly, you turn on. I didn't watch the game. I'll be honest, but I was watching scores and I saw
Why
what
don't
was
you watch
happening.
the games?
Last night, what was I doing? I mean, honestly, I do watch the games. I just don't get dedicated to the Tigers. I'm more dedicated to my fantasy team. So I was hopping around and checking out all the scores. The game that I watched most was the Padres game last night. But you look at the odds and where they were in the basement for the Tigers to win that game in the 9th inning. And for them to not only just come back and win, but to do it in the style that they did. The cardiac cats rule this town, whether it's the Lions, whether it's the Tigers. This team just seems unflappable. I still see some regression coming their way. Not enough to cost them the division. Hopefully enough to spur them on to make some moves, which I'm sure we'll talk about at some point today.
We will. Dan Dickerson joins us in about 20 minutes from now, the radio voice. And if you missed his calls yesterday, you missed some good ones. And there's a lot of great follows on X or Twitter, as you used to call it. And you can always get Dan's calls. Of course, you get the TV calls from Jason as well, and they were phenomenal. And the game is unbelievable. Yesterday, in the 8th inning, when Cleveland took the lead, I'm like, all right, so we're going to lose 1-0. We beat them 1-0 the day before. Okay, Scooble pitched his ass off again.
Yeah, he did.
7 innings. How many hits?
3 hits.
3 hits, no runs, 10 strikeouts.
Yep.
For Tarek Scooble.
Last 2 starts, not a walk either.
Nope, no walks. His numbers last year when he won the Cy Young, this year they're better than last year at this point. They just can't. He's lost a couple of games, not lost, but they lost out on getting him wins a couple of times. But he's not in the Paul Skeens category yet, who leads the league in ERA.
Yep.
And he has 4 wins, guys. Paul Skeens has 4 wins
And
for
he's
the
an all-star.
Pirates, and he's an all-star. His ERA is under 2.
Wow.
So if you want to feel sorry for a pitcher, don't feel sorry for Scoobs. Feel sorry for Paul Skeens.
So who's the challenger in the AL? Is it still Fires? Is anybody even challenging in the AL right now?
Not really. You mean for Cy Young?
Yeah.
No. It's all him.
It's what Fires was having a great year with the
Fried.
Yankees.
Yeah, Max
Yeah,
Fried.
Max
Yeah,
Fried, sorry.
Fried.
Fires
Max
has
Fried,
been around a
he
while.
He got blown up last start, but we'll see how he comes in. The poor Yankees, they are decimated.
Yeah.
They have absolutely no pitching left. They lost another one. The Mets beat them 2 out of 3. The Yankees are in almost a total free fall. And usually on Sunday Night Baseball, you would see the Yankees and Mets if they're playing. It shows you how bad they were playing. You got to see the Cubs and the Cardinals, and that was a 10-0 whitewash by Chicago. And then followed by that, you saw the San Diego. Who'd they play? The Padres?
Athletics, I believe.
Athletics.
They played the A's?
Yep.
So you got that as well. So that shows you how bad the baseball in New York right now is. They're still obviously both in the thick of it in the wild card, but Toronto has run off 10 straight wins to jump up 3 games
They
in the AL East. So, And Boston is winning here and there. They're over 500. So we had Lynn Henning on last week. Remember Lynn said, I think Boston is going to sell. Maybe not, because if they could squeeze themselves into the playoff run, maybe they won't be trading Aroldis Chapman, which will be a great guy for the Tigers to have. They're going to still need some players. They're going to need a true bona fide closer. They're going to need a right-handed hitter and probably another starter. I would think they would need another starter, and you can't depend on what's his name, Pete. He hasn't pitched for us yet.
Oh, Alex Cobb.
Yeah, Alex.
Yeah, and his CTE.
Maybe a month at the end of the season, but certainly something that you can't
depend on.
Yeah, you can't hold that in your pocket and think you're going to be fine. This team has to go and make some moves because, in my opinion, on paper, they're not good enough to win it. On top of that, you know that their competition is going to be out buying. Whether it's the Yankees, whether it's the Astros, and then obviously all the guys out west in the National League, you know that the National West, the Dodgers, Padres, these guys are going to be buyers. And the Tigers, not only do they need to make some acquisitions, but they also need to beat some of these teams to some of these acquisitions. Yeah. This is a situation that this new management, they're not used to. And so my biggest concern is not whether they're going to make the moves, it's whether they get beat to the prime guys that are available. Because if they're sweeping up in the end, they're going to get swept out of the playoffs.
Well, I hope you're wrong on that. And by the way, Randall Small said look out for Valdez with the Astros. Yeah, he's having a great year as well. Houston is the hottest team in baseball. And did you see what Oral Hershiser said the other day? When they lost, the Dodgers lost 10-1 to the Astros. Oral Hershiser on the air said, I don't want to say anything about Houston, but they sure seem to know what pitch is coming. He actually said that.
Ooh.
Yep.
He actually said that. Wow.
Sounds like an Ohio State game.
It does. It does. Anyway, that was Oral Hershiser talking about the other day. So is Houston cheating again, or are they just that good? So there's a lot of great baseball right now playing, and the Tigers are in the thick of it.
Can I add that the Tigers, by the way, after this past weekend, just became the leaders on the board for the American League pennant. Yes. They are the leaders in the clubhouse.
And they have the best record in baseball by one game over the Dodgers and then the Houston Astros.
That's correct.
Are right there on their tail. Yankees again, Mets, they dropped off a little bit. But
you think the Blue Jays are for real? I've been wondering where this team's been hiding for so long. This Addison Barger kid has really seemed like the glue in that lineup. He had a little bit of a struggle after he came out hot, but he's been hot again for the last few weeks. Obviously, you got Batman and Robin there with Vlad and Boba Chet. But Boba Chet. But I look at that team. They've got pitching. They've got a really good lineup. The problem is the division that they play in. There's so many good teams there. Is this a team that you think can win a wild card or even win the division?
They could win their division. They could win the AL East, especially the way the Yankees are decimated. Boston is right around 500. The Orioles are done.
Yep.
So it's their division to lose, actually. And I'm not happy for them, but I kind of am happy to see them playing so Vladdy can get in a playoff. He deserves to be in the playoffs. He deserves for people to watch him.
He deserves to be a Tiger.
Yeah. George Springer's having a hell of a comeback year. George Springer is having a hell of a year. Yeah. He should be on the All-Star team. And there'll be some changes coming up on this All-Star team. And I want to bring the All-Star game up for a minute. Tarek Skubal made the All-Star team, okay?
Yep.
We'll put up those pictures, Pete.
Got it, buddy.
The American League's reserves are on the board. And if you can see it, you got Alex Bregman on the right there. He's not going to be able to play.
Right.
Who could take his place? I got somebody for you.
I got somebody.
And his name is Zach McKinstry. Zach McKinstry is almost the MVP on this team. He is right there with the best that the Tigers are offering right now. We'll hold on to that for a minute.
Let me throw in real quick. Why, if you're trying to win a game, the All-Star game you want to win, right?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want the guy who leads the league in triples?
Yep.
Why wouldn't you want
triples? And he's 12th in WAR.
Thank you.
It's wins against replacement. Bobby Witt Jr. not having a great year. He is a reserve. Jazz Chisholm, Kirk from Toronto, their catcher. Brandon Lau from Tampa Bay. Jonathan Aranda, Tampa Bay. Jeremy Pena having a renaissance year for him. Brent Rooker is a horse with the A's.
Love him.
Byron Buxton, pretty good there. Stephen Kwan, pain in the ass.
Yes, he is.
That's your boy.
He's good.
That's your boy.
Man, it's hard to get that guy out.
It's on my dynasty team. I know all about
Hard
it.
to get that
killed
guy
the Tigers last year.
And here's the guy that shouldn't be on. It's Julio Rodriguez. He's having a really down year. He should not be on this list.
Surprising.
George Springer should be on here. There's a few other players that should be on here as well. But the pitchers,
Yes.
How about Byron Buxton finally being healthy?
I know if he stays healthy,
Yes.
he's very, very
Top
good.
5 player in the league.
I don't know about that,
When he's healthy, man, this guy's having an unbelievable
yeah,
season.
but he's never healthy.
Well, of course. But they
the
did.
caveat.
They talked. He's on my dynasty team as well. After
Yes.
we had dinked around with the guy a few different years and let us down, but they've talked all off season and they've added in all year long that this guy is finally healthy and he's playing like he was 4 or 5 years ago when he was an MVP candidate.
Hey, here's the pitchers, guys. Skubal,
Yep.
these are the reserves. One of these guys will be a starter. Garrett Crochet could be a starter. He is outstanding. I
Yes,
hated
he
that
is.
the White Sox traded him to Boston. Kikuchi, having a good year for Atlanta.
Yes, he is.
For the A's. Not the A's,
Angels.
the Angels.
Angels.
Max Fried of the Yankees. Jacob deGrom, a horse. Absolute horse when he's healthy. Shane Smith of the Sox. Hunter Brown from
Stud.
Solid.
Lakeview High School
Absolute
in St.
stud.
Clair Shores.
Solid.
He is the JV clone, guys.
Yep.
This guy pitches, looks just like JV, except he's got a lot more tattoos.
Also on my fantasy team.
Of course he is. Chris Bubik of Kansas City. Brian Wu having a terrific year for Mariners. Aroldis Chapman.
There he is.
Renaissance year for the Red Sox. Would love to see him close games here for the Tigers because that's the kind of
man.
guy that you need. You need a guy that's not going to throw every single pitch a changeup. And I love Tommy Kahnle. But that's what he does. And the Tigers have been closing with him a lot. And you just need a guy that could change the pace a little bit.
If we can move Kahnle and Vest into the high leverage 7th and 8th inning and have
Yeah.
a true closer,
Yes.
this team becomes that much more deadly.
Absolutely.
And wait till Jason Foley comes back after the All-Star break.
That's right.
Oh, boy, baby.
Josh Hader's having a good year, and Andres Munoz for
Yep.
the Mariners. That is your American League reserves.
Let me ask you a question here, because you guys know I'm the basketball and football guy. Pretty good with baseball, but did they get rid of the rule where each team has to be represented with a player?
That's
Yes.
a good question. No,
I think
don't-
they did.
I don't think they did.
Did they not? Okay, I'll look it up.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying
Yeah.
you're wrong. I got you. I'll look it up.
I think every team has to be represented, and I like that because when you're home as a kid and your team sucks, you still want to see one of your favorite players play in the All-Star
The
game.
reason I'm asking is because there are some names on here that are a little bit of a mystery to me.
I get it.
Shane Smith is a good young rookie, but his numbers shouldn't have him on this team, and
Right.
that's the
Yes,
only White
Tom.
Sox that I see there.
That's why he's on.
So that is
Yes.
that is the deal.
Yes,
Okay.
he is. That's why
Yes.
Shane Smith is on.
Yeah,
He is the best White Sox.
traded him from my dynasty team this
Did
year.
you? Well, I understand that.
I mean, the guy doesn't get any wins. He's a solid young pitcher.
yeah,
you
you
send him
can't-
to a team that wins.
Yeah, you can't have a White Sox on.
no,
every
you
team.
really can't.
So does Skubal start? out of
Although
all
Grant
these
Taylor,
guys?
Yes.
that Grant Taylor, their new closer, that kid's
That's a good
Chicago,
kid, too.
Chicago's got good young talent.
yeah,
Yes,
they
they
do.
do.
They
And
certainly
they're going to
do.
get passed by worst team after 1 year.
Yeah,
Yep.
because
The
they'll be
Rockies are right there to ready to surpass them as worst team ever,
yeah,
surpassing the 60.
they're trying
62
hard. That's for
Mets.
sure.
So anyway, Skubal on this list, as long as he's been pitching on Sundays, right?
Yep.
If they move him up and he pitches on a Saturday, then he's got a few days rest and he can pitch on a Tuesday night in Atlanta. And that would be great to have 4 Tigers represented, maybe more by the time all these injury replacements come in. So we'll see next Tuesday night, not tomorrow,
As
but
starters.
the following Tuesdays
As starters.
As starters.
So let me ask you this: if let's say the schedule prevents Scoobs
Yeah.
from starting, who's your pick to start?
Oh man,
Good call.
it would probably be the Yankees' Max Fried, but I would love to see Hunter Brown.
Me too.
Yeah,
I
it's gotta
love
be
this
Hunter
kid.
Brown.
I hate the Astros. Don't get me wrong. I despise them.
He hates and loves cheaters.
What cheaters do I love?
No, Hunter Brown should be starting if it's not Skubal. That's for doggone sure, guys.
Let's go to the NL, guys. I don't want to hear who you think's a cheater.
I know.
All right?
NL?
We go to the National
You
League.
got it, buddy.
Neither does the chat.
Neither does the chat.
Speaking of which, chat, we don't have a whole lot for you today, but we do have a Braylon Edwards rookie card, which we're going to have him signed tomorrow when we get into the studio. We are running the wheel today all the way up until 3:45. I'll be handling the wheel, so if you want to get some of those super chats in, I'm sure Pete will read them for us. I'll handle that wheel, and we'll spin that around 3:55. Just the one card today, that Braylon Edwards rookie card.
I got 2 super chats right now. We'll start with Dante151. Thank you very much, Dante, as always. Maz, he said that when the Astros were up 18-1, and then Rando Smalls. Hang on, Rando. Let me fix my camera. There you go, Rando. And then Rando Smalls with a $5 super chat. So who are the 3 players you are replacing with trades? Those are our 2 super chats, gentlemen.
Great question.
Good question.
Third base,
Yeah,
closer, and back of the rotation starter.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree. Or number 3.
I
or
think
number
everybody
4.
in Detroit feels that. We
Absolutely.
not getting Bregman, but seeing this team hit the ball the way that they are and put runs up on the board the way they have, you know that if you can add one more big bat in here, you've got a terrifying lineup. For the reasons we just mentioned with Canley's, only the change up and then Will Vest, you look at bringing a guy like Aroldis in. I mean, Hader, that's not going to happen. But somebody along those lines where you can just set it and forget it in the 9th inning, that's a huge, huge bonus for us. But then we've also seen some issues with our starters. Dietrich Enns has been a blessing.
He's going to be a bullpen guy
Good
now.
call.
As it should be. But when you have guys like that you're forcing into that 4 or 5 spot, it tells you need another starter.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
100%.
Go to the National League here, guys.
Yep.
You got Clayton Kershaw, who the baseball commissioner, Rob Manfred, put in as a veterans addition.
How about him and DeGrom? I love both of them making. I think it's been 5 or so years for DeGrom.
Yep.
Actually, and I believe his son at the time was, I think, 3 when he had made it the last time. So maybe it's been 6 years now, and so his son gets a chance to be there and enjoy the festivities. And I've just been such a big fan of both these pitchers for so long. They all did it. Both of them just dominated at their peak. So to be able to see them both here at the mid-season classic is pretty exciting.
I'm sure Stafford will be there supporting Clayton Kershaw, his best friend.
Highland High School, baby.
Hey, Chris Sale made it. He's not going to pitch, obviously. He's hurt. He was having a hell of a year, man. What a pitcher
Yes, he
Chris
was.
Sale is. Zach Wheeler, that's your starter
Stud.
for the National League.
Yeah.
He complete game yesterday, 10 strikeouts. He goes 8 or 9 innings almost every single game. And I said this years ago when the Mets let him go. I'm like, what the hell are you doing letting him go? And he goes to Philly. So you look at my 2 New York teams. The Giants let Saquon go to Philly, and the Mets let Zach Wheeler go to Philly.
Philly's like New York's drunk little brother, right? I want to go.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
They're down the shore. Philly.
That's like losing a great player from Detroit
Look at this little chipmunk.
Look
to
at that.
Cleveland.
I wish we could.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, buddy.
I wish you guys could see this
Oh,
guy.
that's so
He
cute.
is beautiful.
Want to come over here?
He's not afraid of us either.
No,
He's
he's
not
not.
afraid at all. A little chipmunk.
He knows golfers are mostly nonviolent
Well-
until the 18th hole.
He's probably looking for a little food. Pete, you got anything over there to throw? him?
I'll feed him a Dorito.
So go ahead. What were you saying about Philly and New York?
To me, Philly is the drunk little brother of New York. Losing a major player like Wheeler, that would have to be like losing Joe Dumars to the Cavaliers.
Ugh, ugly. Paul Skeens made it. Of course he made it. I
course
told
he
you about
does.
him. Leads the league in ERA, and he's got 4 freaking wins for it. And his last 3 starts have not been great, but the Pirates are so bad. They lost 1-0 yesterday, got shut out again. Logan Webb from San Francisco. Robbie Ray, former Tiger, having another good year.
Yep.
There's my
the
starter for
Giants.
the NL.
Robbie Ray?
No, Logan Webb.
Oh, Logan Webb.
Yep.
Not over Zach Wheeler, man.
I was thinking. I'm just arguing with you. Go ahead.
All right, Freddie Peralta of Milwaukee. Mackenzie Gore, who I gave up on in my
Strikeout
fantasy.
king.
I gave up on him.
I was pounding the table for him. I do have a partner
Yeah.
in my
Does
fantasy
he have
league.
a winning record or a losing record?
Great question. I know
Yeah.
he's got a lot of strikeouts,
Yeah.
and he definitely, he was ranked in at like maybe a top 80 pitcher to
you-
start the season.
You think the Tiger could go get him? Nationals are folding up their tent.
Could
Yeah.
be.
Fired their manager and general manager.
Yeah, they
Could
are
be.
folding up.
Looking at this list though, obviously James Wood, he's an all-star. So I don't think Mackenzie Gore didn't make it just because he's
Oh,
the
no.
only Nationals
No.
representative. that would be a guy that man, if the Tigers could get a hold of him and get those strikeouts on the board, because outside of Scuba, we don't have the high K pitchers, and to be able to take those swings out of the mix would be very healthy for us. When I look at Mackenzie Gore, though, I don't really see anybody else on the list that made it on merit instead of just being the sole representative that improved their stock from preseason to All-Star game more than Mackenzie Gore.
Hey, Matthew Boyd, who pitched last night for the Cubs, Renaissance pitcher again. Another Tiger that is reinvented, and he is pitching his heart out in Chicago.
Yes,
I'm happy for the guy.
Yep.
Very happy for him. Yamamoto from L.A., Edwin Diaz from the Mets, Jason Adam from San Diego.
There's a good pitcher.
And Randy Rodriguez.
Randy Rodriguez has an absolutely electric arm. You're going to be hearing about him for the next decade.
Look at the
games.
Giants pitching staff.
Guy's unreal.
The Giants pitching staff is absolutely phenomenal.
That's
guys.
why they were able to trade a couple of their good arms over to Boston
100%.
to get Devers.
Exactly.
And Devers is struggling right now in the National League. He'll bounce back.
Well,
that's struggling.
That's my underdog to win the NL.
That and ownership paid 9 figures for a football player for their soccer team. I'm telling you, I think the Boston Red Sox, their days of riding high on top of the AL East, I'll tell you what, I don't think that they're going to be on the same page, and this is not meant to denigrate the Yankees, but most people, when they think of the Yankees, they think of the Red Sox. They think of the Red Sox, they think of the Yankees. Now, they don't have anywhere near as many World Series championships, but
they got more lately, though.
For the last 30 years, though, we've considered these two teams as the pinnacle of the AL.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, when you start throwing around big-time money and you step into the Premier League where you have to pay these soccer clubs and these soccer international superstars the type of money that you have to pay them, you're starting to rob Peter to pay Paul, and I think that's what's happening in Boston.
Ricky
Hey,
Burns
guys, look
in
at
the
this.
house.
Look at this guy.
Hey, what's up, man? What's going
What's
on?
up, legend?
Ricky, did you forget what we were today?
100%. I'm not even going to lie. I completely forgot.
Hey, welcome back, man.
It's good to be here. Wait, I can't hear anything.
How's the studio looking?
Now you just
Yeah, I was in the studio.
Don't be
Oh, there
pushing
we go.
buttons.
How's
My
the
bad.
studio looking?
Empty. I walked in. I was like, this doesn't feel right. I asked Spinny. Spinny's like, oh, yeah, you're supposed to be up. But, yeah, nah. But I love this place. I've actually not only golfed here, I've DJ'd here before. That's
Okay.
how I knew
Right
exactly
on.
where you guys were.
Now, I'm very
So-
curious, what kind of genre did you play here?
It was for the NAACP. So,
Okay.
it was
So it wasn't Def
rules were-
Leppard?
No, not at all. I don't even think I have Def Leppard. What is Def Leppard?
You could have played Def Leppard, man.
No, but I'm good to be here. What I miss?
You didn't miss much.
You missed much, man.
Talk Tigers. We're
Talking
going to have Dan
Tigers.
Dickerson now.
Oh, nice.
We're
All
going
right.
to hang up. We're going to take a break here.
You
Okay,
missed-
sounds good.
You missed the memo is what you missed, my friend.
Actually, in my defense, there was 0 memo sent out about
True
this.
that. That's
Maz
true.
only told me
Verbal
before a
memos
holiday.
only.
Before a holiday. No, give me the camera.
A 3-day
He told
holiday.
me before a holiday weekend. A man that drinks and smokes on his weekend. Just let you know.
A 3-day weekend,
A
too.
3-day weekend.
I apologize for you forgetting. I apologize, Ricky.
Too funny.
It's all
Take a
good,
break,
Maz.
Pete.
I forgive
Dr.
you.
Pierce, my friend.
Oh, Dr. Pierce, that's our guy, Michigan Sports and Spine.com. He joins us every Tuesday and Thursday here on Woodward Sports. He is here to keep you in the game, performing at your best. You know, I go to him twice a week. I'll go tomorrow. I'll get to see my girls, Faith and Kara. They're trying to get these elbows of mine working again. You should get there as well for your aches and pains. It's Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine.com.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. A original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in the clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media. And we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
Ladies and gentlemen, you guys know about Les Stanford. They got the best inventory around with the best deals. If you take a look over my head right now, you can see three of those amazing 2025 models that they've got on special right now. So head on over to Les Stanford Buick and GMC. You can find them at lesstanford.com, and together, let's drive.
All right. Welcome back, guys. Woodward Sports live on location. We're at Cherry Creek Golf Club in Shelby Township for the DSMA, Detroit Sports Media Association Golf Scramble. Anson Wells alongside Tom Mazaway, Pete and Ricky getting us on the air. And my man, the voice of the Tigers, long time now. It's been a long time for Dan Dickerson on the air. He joins us live on his way to the ballpark. What's up, Dan?
How you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Great, man. Not as good as you, man. You sound awesome this weekend, and I swear, man, I thought I was watching 3 playoff games, Dan.
Yeah.
The atmosphere was great. It was great to see that ballpark full. I love Progressive Field. It's just to get a good feel to it. These are good fans, but they've had a hard time filling it up in the summer months, even in years where they're good. I love seeing sell out, and then 30,000 plus yesterday. It was smoking hot. Those are good fans, and it was intense. I mean, think about it. The game, it was a 1-run game for 27 innings.
Unbelievable, man.
I mean,
I swear.
Unbelievable.
Dan, I was literally sitting on my edge of my seat Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And yesterday, I kind of, like in the 8th inning when Cleveland took the lead, I'm like, all right, we won 1-0. They're going to win 1-0. We're not going to sweep them. I'm okay with it. And back they come. And they don't quit. And just the moves that AJ makes. Torque gets hit, gets on base. They pinch run him. Zach McKinstry steals second. He's called out. Thank goodness for replay. Once in a while. I always complain about it, but thank goodness this time, Dan. He was safe.
Why do you complain about it?
I do, because I don't think they do it. I don't think they get it right all the time. I just don't.
Well, if they get 95% of them right, that's at least better than the alternative.
Yes.
Otherwise, game over.
I know. It would have been game over. And then I said to my cousin, I'm sitting next to him, I'm like, and he gets to third base on a ground out. I'm like, we need a pass ball. This Class A don't have it today. We need a pass ball. And there it was. I don't know how it got by Naylor, but it did.
Oh, one of the most improbable endings I've ever seen. I keep thinking about it. So many things had to go right, but this is an example of what this brand of baseball and their attention to detail, why it's leading to so many wins. First of all, I think AJ gave him, and I'm going to ask him today, but I think he wanted Perez. No, he didn't pinch run until Perez made the first out. So I'm thinking that he wanted Perez to face Clase, see if he could drive into the gap. Well, he took Quan to the warning track.
He did.
In the field. So with 1 out, that's when he pinch runs because now he's got to get to second base. So everybody knows he's going to steal. He steals. And he was definitely safe. Ground ball gets him to third. And then look what the Guardians do. They play Ramirez way off the line with that runner at third. And then he's taking that huge lead down the line.
Yep.
Because Ramirez is so far back. And that allows, because Clase didn't read it quickly. I mean, that's a ball that has to be blocked. And he didn't read it quickly. But even if he had, McKinstry was across the plate before he was within 10 feet of home plate.
Amazing.
So, again, those little things. Notice in the bottom of the ninth inning, Baez is near third base because of that base runner at third, potential win run, with a lefty at the plate.
Yes.
And he gets a line drive right to him. Again, that's all the positioning detail that these guys work on every day with Joey Cora. It's just all the little things. And then the approaches against Cade Smith.
Oh, man.
That's the guy that had 5 hits in 14 innings with 25 strikeouts in Cade Smith's career. 5 hits, 25 strikeouts, 14 innings, utter, complete dominance. And they do that. What do? They charge early in the count. They hit the slider. They hit the fastball twice for home runs and a splitter for a double. But they were aggressive. They clearly had an approach and a plan. And for each individual hitter, he's given up 1 home run in his career. They hit 2. All of it. Again, it's just a reflection of all the work that goes on every day and all the little things that add up to big things.
I don't know if you had a chance to hear Tom Hamilton's call. Did you hear it?
Which one? The pass ball?
No, the one when they lost the game, and he finally said, "If Cleveland, if you thought they hit rock bottom, they've hit it now."
You mean the final out of the game?
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, 4-game losing streaks feel like they're never going to end. It's been a while since we've had a 10. It just feels like truly you might never win another game. It's an awful feeling.
First sweep in Cleveland in 10 years, Dan. And then the first hit for Riley Green all year against Cleveland. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, my goodness. And look what he did. This is what AJ talks about. You know, the good hitters, you don't have to be precisely in the strike zone. He talked about this with Josh Naylor last year. Sometimes you expand the strike zone a little bit if you think you can attack and make hard contact. That pitch from Cade Smith was a ball and a half width outside the strike zone. Bang, into the left field seats. He's such a good hitter. What he's done for this team, wow.
Hey, while we're talking about MVPs of this team, and we got 3 All-Stars going to the game, tell me about Zach McKinstry and what he has done for this team. I know he's 12th in WAR right now in the American League. He is a triples leader. He is a guy that plays every position except pitching. I think this guy's an all-star.
Oh, yeah, there's no question. I said last year going into the season he would be the team MVP just because of what he does for AJ. It didn't turn out that way because he didn't hit a whole lot. You could argue he's the team MVP because of all the things he does so well. Behind Tarek Skubal, you have to start there, of course.
Of course.
But truly, with 7 positions now, he goes into play first base, gets challenged right away. That leading the pitcher to the base with a under toss, that's not a easy play.
Nope.
So 7 positions, hitting 280, worked hard on his swing to get the ball out of the air, more on a line. He's done that incredibly well, incredibly consistent. Best base runner on this team.
Yep.
Not the fastest, but the best because of how aggressive he is and how he cuts the bases when he runs. It's a complete package, and he's just he's kind of the shining symbol and leading face of this brand of baseball that has led to incredible win total through 91.
Amazing, Dan. Dan Dickerson joins us, Tigers play-by-play voice on radio, of course. Got the Rays coming in today, and I'll send it over to you there, Anson.
Mr. Dickerson, I got to say, as a longtime fan and somebody who loves to listen to baseball, it is an honor to have you coming through this headset right now. We had Lynn Henning in last week, and while we're talking about MVPs of this team, I want to switch it over to Tarek Skubal. And even though we're all positive right now, Lynn Henning spelled a little bit of doom for us. He doesn't think that a deal is going to happen, and he sees the Tigers riding this contract out and allowing Skubal to get into free agency.
We can't worry about that.
Right.
He can throw a little water on it all he wants, and heck, he wanted to trade him not that long ago. So I'm not going to worry about it. Just let's enjoy while he's here. The realities of he might, but I also think the Tigers know how valuable he is, and everybody assumes he's going to be gone. I don't think that, necessarily going to be the case. You never know. Teams get creative. Sometimes guys like to stay.
Well, I like hearing that. So I'll switch it to another question I asked Lynn, because he kind of shocked me with this one. We compared AJ and Sparky, and he hands down chose AJ. Is AJ the best manager, in your opinion, that the Tigers have ever had?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, because he just blends it all. He blends, as you like to say, the real with the feel, but also understanding these are human beings, not a video game, but understanding also that you can use this data the right way to make these guys better. Integrating all the departments is so important. Strength and conditioning, plus the training staff, plus the hitting and pitching departments. And he is constantly overseeing everything every day. I mean, he just lives and breathes his job, always looking for that advantage against this opponent today. How are we going to win this game? What is our advantage in this series? And just the way that he has molded this team to this style of baseball, what they did down the stretch last year, figuring out the pitching when there was no obvious solution after the trade deadline, remains one of the greatest things I've ever seen. But I think just when he gets players to understand what it takes to win one game one day, that really is the only game that matters, because you can't replay yesterday's game, and tomorrow's game you can't play yet either. It sounds so simple, and yet when the players realize all the work that goes into it, from the staff to all the supporting staff to the coaches to the players, and the work that they have to do to prepare, you get the buy-in that he talks about. But I say this all the time. There's no other manager in history who's done what he's done. When a team wins 100 games, what usually happens? They fall back the next year. In Houston, he went from, I might have the win totals wrong, but it was like 103 to 105 to 107. They increased their win total when they got to 100. That never happened. What does that say? That says that those guys just bought in, like, yeah, this is what we do. Every day we're going to find a way to win today's game, and we're not going to look ahead, and we're not going to look back. And when you get that, it's a powerful thing. And when you learn how to win series, which they're doing at an incredibly high clip right now, what is it now, 27-1 since losing to the Dodgers to start the season, that's when you can get to 95, 100 wins.
I love that you talk about the entire organization as a whole, because obviously, the common fan is going to look at the adjustments and things that AJ does in game. But what I'm seeing when you look at all of our minor league teams, they're all playing above 500 ball. It seems as though the culture of the Tigers has changed almost overnight, similarly to what we've seen with the Lions. Can you speak to what AJ and the rest of the guys, Scott and everyone else, what they've brought and the changes that you've seen, not just on the field, but with the culture of this Tigers organization?
I mean, the first interview I did with Scott Harris, a lot of teams talk about culture, right? But he's made sure that it wasn't just talk. First interview I did with him, he said the biggest separator between organizations is the culture that you build. And he is very mindful of, whenever he has a player, it's not just the skills, it's the person too. And when you take great care in that, and that takes a lot of homework, that takes a lot of maybe phone calls that you have to make, or talking to people who played with this guy or know this guy, whatever it might be, to make sure that that's a fit into what you're building down there in that clubhouse every day. And it's addition by subtraction sometimes, and then it's addition by addition. And then the organization having the same teaching skills and the way they go about teaching the game, playing the game from the lower levels all the way up to the major leagues. You're never going to be surprised when you go from one level to the next. Oh, no, we're doing it differently at Double A. Then what? No, we get to the major leagues. It's the same that you did at A-ball, at Double A, at Triple A. We are emphasizing the same things. We are playing the game the same way. We are looking for the advantages in these areas, and we're going to do all these things well. We've heard lip service to that for years. This is the first time in my 26 years that I've actually seen an organization stick to the plan in terms of building a culture, as well as whatever you want to call it, Tiger brand of baseball, but an organization-wide belief that this is how it's going to be taught at every single level. And when Scott Harris said, when he first started, we want this to be an organization where people want to come, wherever they are in their careers, rookies, 2-3-year guys, veterans, because they know they have a chance to get better. He's done that, and I think the word is spreading.
Hey, Dan, 3 promotions from single A to double A just yesterday. 3 big names. You got Kevin McGonkle, Max Clark, and Jose Briseno. I don't know. Am I pronouncing his last name correct?
Briseño.
Yeah, Briseño. What is the next step for them now? Now, I've talked to a lot of baseball people, and they say once you get to double A and you do well in double A, you are ready for the major leagues, except, you just got to get your head right. What do these guys – and I haven't even heard about Lorenzo, how he's doing, because that was one of the guys they got for Flaherty last year, along with Sweeney, who hit the home run yesterday. Everything is coming up roses here, man.
Well, those are 3 the obviously top 5 prospects.
Yeah.
Lorenzo, of course, is in that top 5, and so is Bryce Rayner, who's done for the year with that injury.
Right.
No, I mean, you go up and you evaluate them for the second half of this year, see how they do at double A. But I think mostly you're going to stop at every level.
Okay.
There's still some learning to do there are not too many who jump from double A to the major leagues. But does that mean that if they have a big second half, start next year maybe at triple A or even double A, then triple A, that some 1, 2, or 3 of those guys could be in the major leagues sometime in 2026? I think one of them could. McGonigal can hit. I haven't seen him much. I mean, I've seen highlights, but everybody agrees that kid can hit.
No doubt.
So I'll be really – it's a challenge. That's a big jump.
It is.
And I'll be interested to see what he does at double A.
All right, so let's take you to the trade deadline here, and the Tigers are probably going to be busy. What do they need to make sure this team gets to the World Series?
We don't need a third baseman. I think we keep hearing that. I'm not.
Right. Well, you got Zach and you got Veerley.
Would another right-handed bat be nice? Yeah, sure. But this offense has added thump, and that's a big improvement from a year ago. I mean, you need to hit with home run power in the postseason because when you're facing the best pitching, it's hard to string together 3 hits to get a run.
Right.
So that's why home runs are important. Well, you've got some home run threats up and down this order, especially in the heart of the order. Another bat might be nice, but to me the priority is back end of the bullpen arms.
Yeah.
They get swing and miss. Tigers bullpen right now is kind of slipped to the middle of the pack, but when you are last in strikeout rate, as the Tigers bullpen is at 7.5 strikeouts per 9, you need a certain level of swing and miss, and they don't have a lot of it, obviously. I think Tyler Holton is nicely coming along and getting back to being Tyler Holton. I'm feeling pretty good. Grant Herter's outing the other day was outstanding. It's like, okay, whatever that was for 3 games, he's back to dialing it in. But you need, for Canely and Best, you need another arm or 2. And I'm not going to tell Scott Harris what to go out and get, but that would seem to be the priority, some swing and miss help in leverage situations at the back end of games. Another starting pitcher.
Yeah.
I don't know how they look at that right now. With Sawyer Gibson-Long's injury, a neck injury, is that going to be something short term? Do they look at him as a 5 guy? Cato Montero is going to come up today. Are you comfortable with him in the number 5 spot? You're pretty darn happy, I would think, with 1 through 4. Yeah. Now that Reese Olson's back, with the way Mize is pitching, Skubal, Flaherty, and Olson, and really you need 4 in the postseason. It's not just 3; it's really 4. Do you feel like you need another starting pitcher? I don't know, but you're definitely looking to reshape your roster or add based on how can we get to the World Series and win the World Series.
No doubt, Dan. The Rays come in. They embarrassed the Tigers last week in that Steinbrenner Field. By the way, happy belated birthday to the boss. He would have been 96 years young on 4th of July. Nonetheless, this time they come to Comerica Park, where the Tigers know how to play a little something. I think this is an important series, Dan. I know they just came off a sweep, and they're winning series after series, but I got to see them beat the Rays here, 2 out of 3 at least.
You have to. What happens if they don't?
No, I'm going to complain, but I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Can't I just wish? I'm pissed that they swept us and destroyed us. I'm a little mad.
They didn't sweep, Tommy. You can't even remember 2 weeks ago.
They won the first game. You're right. We won the first game. But the last 2 games were ugly.
No, the Tigers won the last game. Come on, man.
Okay,
let's
buddy.
go.
All right. Fine.
No, they were hot, and they've got some pretty tough hitters, and bomb the ball. They're a good team.
I know.
They're a good team. They're playing good baseball. 6-6 since they beat the Tigers, and they've lost their last 3 series. So I don't know. I like this matchup. They're good, but I think the Tigers are right now pretty dominant at home.
And then the Mariners come in after that. They got some pretty good pitchers over in Seattle.
Oh yeah, that's a good team.
Yeah,
that's an absolutely good team.
All right,
but
Dan.
hey, Tigers are at home. That's the main thing.
Hey, we appreciate you, brother. Keep up the great work. We'll look forward to hearing you again, and bring us home a couple of wins here this week.
All right, you guys. Good talking with you both.
All right,
Have
Dan
a great week.
Dickerson, Tigers radio voice, 26 years, man. Wow.
Hearing him come through this headset, it's like comfort food.
You should have
You know
asked
what
him
I'm
to do a call for you. Be like, Anson,
For real, for real.
Anson hits one to right
Hey,
field. It's going, it's gone.
Let the super chat know about the Braylon Edwards
right.
rookie card that we're giving away
We
today.
do have a super chat in there, by the way, guys. Let me get to it real quick here. Actually, we got a couple of them, Mr.
There we go.
Anson
Keep them coming in,
Wells.
guys, until 3:45. I'm running the wheel today, so it's a little bit less time. But it is going to be a Braylon Edwards signed rookie card. We're going to have him in the studio tomorrow, so he'll sign that, and we'll get that off to you. And anybody that won last week, none of that got sent out. That will be sent out tomorrow. So patience, please. The holiday was the holiday.
You got it, guys. Let me throw in those 2 super chats for you real quick there, Anson. Dante 151, another $1.99. Hey Maz, can you ask Dan how awesome Mize has been?
He answered that.
He did answer that. And then Rando Smalls with $2. So the newest moon mammoths is with a question mark. So the newest moon mammoths.
What is that?
You got
I
it.
do
Yeah,
not know.
Randall, you got to elaborate.
Maybe
Rando, elaborate.
Maybe there's a new
I
moon,
don't-
and,
yeah, I don't
and
have
the
my-
Is there
Tigers
a
are
new
the
moon?
mammoth.
What's going on,
Are those
baby?
the cards he's talking about?
I am
Talking
not.
about the Utah Hockey Club? I mean,
not
what
sure.
kind of mammoths
Oh,
are you
yeah.
talking about, baby?
We don't have our decoder rings on us.
That's a pretty good logo, by the way.
It
That
sounds
Utah
right.
Mammoth is a good.
Ovaltine.
That's a good logo. That
Utah
Mammoth.
Mammoth.
Sounds like a high A team.
It sounds like probably, I guess. I don't
Minor
know what he
league
meant by
squad.
that. But that's all right. Appreciate you guys for all your super chats.
Hey
Appreciate
guys, hey, we got Lions talk coming up at the top of the hour.
Yes.
Doc Macaroon is going to join us. The Doc. I'm surprised he's not out here with DSMA. And hey,
Is this supposed
Chris
to rain?
Hunt from Folding Warehouse.
There you go.
What's up, Chris?
There he is.
Shout out to Noni Hut.
What's up, man?
Looking good in that old English D.
Get out there, guys. Go see Chris and Noni. Tell them
There he
Matt
is.
sent you at the Folding
he
Warehouse.
is.
I
Love
feel
bowling.
like you're a foaling master.
I'm not a master.
No?
I am not. That guy.
He's the master.
He's the master. I got a cork arm anymore. I can't get that
Really?
down there anymore. Man. It's hard.
Okay.
It's hard on the shoulder.
You don't do one of these?
Yeah, I can do it. I can do
Well,
it that
Is that
way.
A
legal?
little Stafford?
You can throw it under?
You,
You can under
can kick it over there
Do
if
it
you want.
anyway, right,
Really?
Chris?
No, you
No,
can't
Chris
kick it.
Any
says
other
no.
way?
See?
Can't throw it underhand?
Can't kick it.
You can do it. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, got you. Okay,
Yeah.
nah, I go.
Very nice.
That's my best bet then, Chris. That's my best bet then.
Did you see the backwards sidearm? It was a high school kid. He turned away from the rush and just slung it underhand on a dime to a guy out wide, and he ran for about 30 yards.
Nah.
Slick play. You'd have thought it was Pat Mahomes that did it.
Really?
Beautiful. I'll have to send it in.
That's probably where he learned it from.
You think he's watching him?
That's what I'm
I
saying.
mean, they're all
That's where I
watching
learned it
him,
from.
Maz. They're all watching him.
Hey, football coming up, guys. We are in July. It's July 7th right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
July
7-7.
July, let's see, what date
It's
are we at?
7-7.
The 16th, I think, is the Lions opening.
My
Let's see.
mom's birthday's
Yes,
in
it is
4
the
days.
16th.
July 16th,
Yes.
rookies report to Allen Park.
9
The
days
18th
away.
after that, guys. And then, of course, we play at the end
Already.
of the month in Canton against the
Oh, I'm
Chargers,
so ready.
baby.
Right.
It is football time
Oh, I'm
coming
so
up,
ready.
and the Tigers are keeping us interested because we'd be desperate right now for football. And I know you are because you like your fantasy football drafts.
well, of course.
and
Yeah,
all of that.
of
We're going to
course.
go over some
Oh,
fantasy
yeah, I got
football.
fantasy this year.
And-
I got a little something in here for you.
And for everybody in the chat that might be going down to Canton for the Hall of Fame game, me and Maz are hitching down there. So if you've got two extra seats,
Hitching.
just let us know.
I saw some great stuff online. I've told you guys about this. For $100, you get a ticket to the game, you get entry to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and you get $20 to spend or $25 to spend. in
You
the
gotta send
gift
me
shop.
that link, man. I might do
that's pretty
that.
good.
That's some
We should all
preseason
go as a
pricing if
show.
I've ever heard of
Isn't
it.
that nice?
We should
Yeah,
all go as a
I might
show.
take my dad down to that.
And-
That's not bad.
Rick, have you been to the Pro Football Hall
No,
of Fame?
never. But
It is
I
damn
kind of
cool.
want to. I might have to do that.
never
The second best Hall of Fame behind Cooperstown.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Cooperstown's something else. Take the family, go for a weekend. You're literally transported back into the 50s when you go to
wild.
Cooperstown. The whole city.
I don't know how I'd fare in the 50s.
You'd be fine. You'd be fine in this city.
I'm wearing the wrong color.
I'm telling you, every single shop is either an ice cream shop or a baseball card shop or some sort of old school throwback. It's amazing.
Stuff.
But Can's fantastic too. I wish Springfield represented the NBA a little bit better than it does, but
It's basketball, not NBA, right?
true. Yeah. The worst though is the Hockey Hall of Fame, which is in a mall.
They
You don't
have
like
one?
that? I like
It's
it.
in a mall,
I know.
dude.
I like it.
It's in a mall.
I've been there a couple times.
It's not bad. I mean,
No.
if I was walking around the
bad.
mall, I'd stop in, but I'm not exactly going to the mall to go to a Hall of Fame of a national
What is it
sport.
next to though? Like, is it next to
Baby
the
Gap?
pencil peddler?
Baby Gap.
Baby Gap.
Well, you know, the Michigan Sports Hall of Fame started out in the hallway of Cobo
Yes,
Hall. They
it
would just
did.
line the main hallway of Cobo Hall with the pictures of the inductees.
I'm still upset over the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame being in the mistake by the lake.
What are you going to do?
It's ridiculous.
They got to put it somewhere.
Ridiculous.
They gotta put it somewhere.
Like Detroit Rock City.
Okay. Motown, too.
Still
don't
upset.
forget.
Yeah,
Don't forget
there's
Motown.
a whole bunch of things. I mean, we created techno, punk,
Yeah.
what do they call that stuff? Motown.
Motown.
Best rapper of all time, Madonna, Stevie Wonder. Come on, you're going to send him to Cleveland?
Hey, I'm with you, man. But have you been?
To the Rock and Roll Hall of
Yeah.
Fame? You know what? I have boycotted that like I
Oh,
boycotted ESPN. By the way,
You
I'm working
boycotted.
on my 18th year of an ESPN boycott.
Nice.
Really?
Wow.
18
You're not,
years.
You
You're
don't
not
even
missing
watch
anything.
clips?
When they brought out Insider,
Why? You don't like Schefter?
no, I'm not paying for an article I can read
I
everywhere
mean-
else.
Well, I mean, you know what? Most newspapers are that now.
Them and The Athletic can go kick rocks.
Well, I have a membership to both.
I bet you do.
I have a membership to the Detroit News. the
And
Free Press.
Hulu and
Yes, I have everything.
and Netflix and
I have-
Paramount and Apple TV and
I have no idea how much
5
money
other
I've
ones
got
he
on
doesn't
the
know
street.
about.
Really?
You know they've got
So
an app
much.
for that.
I know, but is that true?
It's an app that supposedly goes
Yeah.
through and
I know.
Yeah.
I know, but I don't believe. I
it
don't trust
sounds
it.
like you really need it.
I probably do.
Yeah, you're definitely double paying for something.
He's got like
You're-
$2.95 going out
Maz is
extra a month.
100% double paying for an app
Hey,
right now.
He's like, I've had Disney for
Yes, he
10
is.
years.
Hey,
Right.
have you guys been inside to look at the silent auction?
No, I
Yes.
haven't.
Awesome
They got
items.
Yes.
They got some
They
great
got good
stuff,
stuff.
in there. They got a helmet signed by Jameer Gibbs. We're going to
Okay.
talk to Doc Macaroon coming up here.
He's ranking
Lions.
pretty high.
He is. We're going to talk about how high he ranks in the running backs, top 10 running backs. You know he is in that. They got lots of great stuff
He
here
better be in that top 5, man.
at the Detroit Sports Media Association. We're out there, baby. We're here at Cherry Creek in Shelby Township. It's Woodward Sports. Where are we going, Pete?
Well, it's wicked awesome
right.
to be
Going to
here.
Wicked Awesome.
Let's go.
It's also wicked awesome to go and get your hair done at Lady Jane's. They're open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. And, you know, gentlemen, we like simple. That's what they do. They keep it nice and simple. Sit down, your hair's did, you're leaving, you're ready for whatever you need that week. Lady Jane's open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
The boys of summer are here, and Woodward Sports is all over the Motor City with the White Claw Tigers Tour. Come party with Woodward Sports, watch the Tigers, and sip on some White Claw all summer long. The best bars, big giveaways, live events, and a party that only Woodward Sports can throw. Ain't no party like a Woodward Sports party. Join us from 5 to 7 with the heavyweights at Second Best Bar in Detroit for the White Claw Tigers Tour, brought to you by White Claw, Easttown, and Van Johnson.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Golf is legendary in these parts. We know pizza is legendary in Detroit, and nobody's been doing it better or for longer than the legendary Buddy's Pizza. 79 years, 22 locations in the great state of Michigan, including that original spot down at 6 Mile in Conant. Get on their app today. Start earning today. And with that first order, include 10 MEAL. That's right, 10 meal, and you're going to save 10% off of your very first order. So get that app going, start earning your rewards, and head on over to buddyspizza.com.
Welcome back. Woodward Sports on the road. Cherry Creek Golf Club, Shelby Township, Detroit Sports Media Association Golf Scramble. And it's Anson Wells, Tom Mazaway, Pete Spivak, Ricky Burns in the house.
DJ Rick bringing in some tunes today. Loving it.
Stick walking around. Brady's
preloaded.
here. Just saw D-Mac. What did D-Mac shoot? 14 under his team?
15 under.
15 under. He'll be in the
That's
thick
wild.
of it. He'll be in the thick of it.
I'm
And,
totally lying. I don't know.
I think it was 14 or 15
Not
under.
bad. On the strength of D-Mac, I assume.
Hey, a guy I thought would be here hitting the golf ball, because I know he loves golf. It's John Doc Macaroon joins us from the Detroit Sports Podcast. What's up there, Doc?
Man, it's all good. Tom, Anson, it's a great Monday. Look, man, I can't get out to every single event. It's vacation time until training camp starts, but
That's right.
listen, the DMSA is a great group, and Cherry Creek, man, that place has taken a lot of my golf balls. My goodness, that's a tough course.
Hey, brother. Hey, 9 days away from you going back to work. The rookies report on the 16th. The vets come in on the 18th. Lion season is here, my friend.
It is, and it's a big year. And for the Detroit Lions, there's a lot of question marks regarding this football team. There's a lot more angst, a lot more reservation regarding the coordinators leaving, the changes, center that was revered, abruptly retired. Many people think it's a football team that might take a step back, but look, it's the NFL. It's a win now league, and this football team is poised to do some good things. And I love the fact that they're going to be tested with a tough schedule, because even if they stumble early or struggle, I think that they'll be playoff ready if and when they have an opportunity to make the postseason.
Hey, Doc, how many wins this division this year? Your opinion.
Yeah, no doubt. It's going to be a tough grind. Everyone kind of presumes that the Bears, Packers, and Vikings all got a little bit better. It was already one of the toughest divisions.
Yep.
It's gonna take probably probably a race to double digits. First team to 10 wins has a strong opportunity to handle business. And I do think that, the Lions last year were strong in the division. I think they will be again, but I do think that the teams like the Bears and the Packers are nipping at their heels.
No doubt about it. Hey, Anson, go ahead, brother.
I got plenty of things here. We've been talking about this rookie class, a lot of different characters, and it really seems like a lot of these guys were drafted in mind of some of the veterans that are soon to be leaving this team. So much is made out of the offensive line, and so many people are talking about Tate Ratledge. And I think Miles Frazier is being overlooked. Can you talk about what you've heard and what you've seen out of this kid so far, and how much play time you think he can have, and what kind of an effect he can have on this offensive line this year?
Great question. I do think that he is a player that is overlooked from the SEC coming out of LSU. But first and foremost, Anson, I do miss Malik Beasley. Until I see a replacement that can knock down the threes at the level of Malik, I am hurting that he's gone. But you had a great take. But until I see his replacement shooting threes at the same level, man, what a big miss and mistake from Malik Beasley.
I'm sure you missed Jamal Williams as well, though, right?
I've always, like a lot of fans, he listen, even though he went somewhere else and bombed with the Saints, when he was here in Detroit, it was touchdown central. He definitely helped out a lot of fantasy teams, but I think that potentially he might have overvalued himself and got himself shipped out of town, but that's what happens. But with Miles Frazier, look, I do think that there's an opportunity for him, clearly at the right guard spot, but we've seen him take a couple snaps at center, and so he'll be somebody that clearly at first will have a reserve role. But I do think that when you see a talent like that he brings to the table in terms of the run game, I do think that, in this, one of the early things people are going to be watching, myself included, at training camp, is the competition, the depth at offensive line. If Tate Ratledge wins the job at center, maybe he boots Graham Glasgow to a reserve role, and I wouldn't mind a young offensive line that features Christian Mahogany, Tate Ratledge, and Miles Frazier along the interior, and then you have the bookends and Taylor Decker and Penei Sewell. I think he's a hungry young player that can play well definitely good against the run, always got to work in pass protection. But you're absolutely right. I think he's a valuable asset that's going to work to compete for reserve opportunities early on, but don't sleep on him. He could be somebody that has an opportunity, if something happens down the road, to be a backup center. And that's what's good about the Lions in their training with Hank Fraley, who's one of the best assistant coaches out there, had an opportunity to interview with the Seahawks to be an offensive coordinator, comes back, and I think he's one of the guys that can develop talent. So Miles Frazier, I think, is going to have a good chance to have a nice reserve role, long career with the Lions.
You alluded to it a little bit. I personally, while everyone else is freaking out about this offensive line right now, we were battered and bruised and barely holding it together by the time Week 18 was finished and we were going into the playoffs. I truly believe that integrating these young guys early and having them mesh over the course of a full regular season, that this team will be better off not only for the playoffs with these young guys on the line, but obviously moving forward past this season.
Yeah, and here's the thing. With the talent that this offense features with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, I do think that, the opportunity to feature some great skilled players is amazing. And you look at Tate Ratledge and Christian Mahogany, two young guys that are projected to have a long career and do good things. Christian Mahogany had his opportunity late last year after dealing with illness early on. And when he got into that playoff game, he did well. One of the few players that performed really up to par against the Commanders. And so you slot him potentially as left guard. Many people are excited about what he can do. And then the question mark is going to be, okay, where does Tate Ratledge fit in? But when he gets his opportunity to play, whether it be right guard or whether it be at center early in his career, if he's the starter, if Tate Ratledge is the starter, my goodness, think about this, Anson. Tate Ratledge and Penei Sewell, that right side looks pretty strong, and you have an opportunity with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery to secure a lot of rushing yards. So I'm pretty comfortable, but it might take a little bit of time to gel. That's the biggest concern, is how quickly will a new unit that's mixing and matching parts gel. And that'll be something to see early on in training camp.
Hey, John Doc Macaroon joins us, covers the Lions for SI.com. He's there all the time. He's our guy here, Detroit Sports Podcast as well. Okay, so the offensive line you think is going to be okay. All the injuries on the defense last year, basically it cost the Lions the season. It did. They just ran out of bodies, and Goff was not himself after he got hit in that Washington game when he fumbled. I think he was concussed. I heard he even had the flu. You hear all kinds of things now after it's all said and done. But why the hell didn't they just hand the ball to Jahmyr Gibbs, for crying out loud, for 30 times? And I want to bring up Jahmyr Gibbs' name because The NFL and NFL.com put out their top 10 running backs. And who came in third? None other than Jahmyr Gibbs. And I don't know if there's two better running backs in the game than him.
Yeah, no doubt. And it was unfortunate, man, because I think an injury that maybe is understated was the David Montgomery injury. You got him back, but that wasn't the David Montgomery that everybody expected.
No.
But the one thing you got to see with Montgomery's injury, an MCL injury, was the fact that Gibbs he looked really good as a number one. Now, they did express, scouts and executives expressed concern that, hey, maybe if you give the ball to Gibbs a lot more, could he wear down? But I'm of the opinion him working out, gaining strength, you have a potential. You have a young, talented running back that can do a lot of great things in this league. And, yeah, you're absolutely right. I think that they viewed him as an Alvin Kamara type.
Yeah.
And against everybody's thoughts, the whole positional value debate, against everybody, they saw a football player,
Yes.
Brad Holmes in the front office, scouting department, they saw a player that could be an explosive piece in this offense. You got to see even more of a glimpse of that last year. So I'm of the opinion you give him the ball as much as humanly possible in the passing game. Rushing attack, I think he can be a 1,000-yard rusher, 1,000-yard receiver, and he can do a lot of great things in this offense. And he just kind of has that aura of a shining superstar in weight, and now you just got to give him that opportunity. This is a big year for Jahmyr Gibbs. I think everybody's going to see the all-pro potential in him this year. You have to. If you're John Morton, early on, what do you know? You know that Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery are going to get you a lot of yards in this offense. As long as the blocking is decent,
Right.
I think that this running back core can definitely help Jared Goff, and I do think you set up the pass with the run with this offense.
I got to hop in here real quick because a guy that I was all over last year and was calling it as we were drafting him live is Sione Vaki. This is a guy that we saw come in and really only touch the ball on offense the one time during the punt fake.
Yep.
But I've been hearing a lot of good things out of OTAs about that they're giving him some more responsibilities as an offensive weapon possibly. Is there any truth to that, Doc? Are we going to see him this year?
I look at it. Yeah, great competition, but I do think that right now, as we sit on the depth chart, don't sleep on Craig Reynolds. I think that he's a guy that firmly established himself as a grinder, somebody that's just not going to give up his job easily. But Sione Vaki can be definitely somebody early on. You realize the Hall of Fame game is going to take place this month on the 31st. That's going to give guys like Sione Vaki a chance to shine, and I think a player that we all want to see get opportunities. But look, he's a converted safety. He's definitely somebody that has talent, but right now he's got more of a special teams kind of role. But yeah, he's got to compete this year to kind of get more touches. But I do think that Craig Reynolds, when Montgomery goes down, you see a player that's just gritty, that has a lot of special teams value. Craig Reynolds is a fighter and is fighting, tooth and nail every year to hold on to his spot. So I think that's just great to add that level of competition to the room. And I'm curious, do they switch Sione Vaki back to safety or play defensive back? I do know they got a lot of depth there, but I do think that Vaki, as an offensive weapon, has got a tough hill to climb to see more touches, especially with the talent above him.
How about Jared Goff? I'm going to tell you this. Oh, stick. Yeah, that stick in the background. Listen, I believe that Jared Goff will have his greatest year of his career this year. I believe he is where he wants to be. His family. He's having his first baby, him and his beautiful wife. I think everything is on the table for this guy. I think he's got tremendous receivers. They keep drafting receivers. They've got two solid running backs. They've got a great offensive line. I think it's sky's the limit. Sam Laporta, I think, has a huge comeback year. I think I think this would be Jared Goff's time. He's going to show everybody that, yeah, I am the guy here in Detroit.
Yeah, it's one of those deals where now you realize, okay, you're investing heavily in the salary cap with Jared Goff. The money's starting to kick in, and he takes up a portion of your cap. You saw what happens when he doesn't perform well, when things around him collapse. Look, it's going to happen when your offensive line doesn't protect well,
right,
when the play calling is not exactly up to par from Ben Johnson. You do need a lot of luck and things to go well, but there are a lot of factors that are going to help Jared Goff. John Morton put this offense in. They're going to give him more responsibility. He is an accurate passer. He's somebody that has so much experience. He's seen the level of defenses and can read defenses excellently. He gets the ball out quickly. The question mark is going to be Jared Goff, in my mind right now, is in that, and Maz, you'll understand this, he's in that Steve Young category prior to winning the Super Bowl.
Yep.
All this talent in the world, comes in, everyone's doubting him, and he's just a guy that has all this talent, but just can never get over the hump until he gets the opportunity to win the big one. And that's where Jared Goff's at. We all remember the iconic scene when Steve Young wins the Super Bowl. He gets the weight lifted off his shoulders.
No doubt.
That's the last step in Jared Goff's career, is to win the Super Bowl. He's got all the skills, got all the yards, got all the accolades. Everything that you would want in a career, Goff has produced, except winning the big one. And now this is the year, these next couple of years, the window's there for him to take the next step in his career. I did a piece and asked the fellas at Detroit Lions NSI, has Jared Goff peaked? We have dissenting opinions at Detroit Lions NSI. Some of us believe that, you know what, he's a good quarterback, but maybe not good enough to win the Super Bowl. Others believe with more control, with emerging Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams taking another step forward, you have all the talent in the world to be able to do it. So you had one of the highest scoring offenses in the league last year. If you can continue that and the defense gets better, it's just one of those deals, Maz. I'm one of those kind of people that I want to see Jared Goff be the reason they win games because you're paying them so much money. But in the framework of a team game, you can put together a team that, led by Jared Goff, can win. But he's never going to be, I don't think, a guy where if the team's down 13 points is going to lead you to 2 touchdowns in 3 minutes. It's just not going to be that way, which we all kind of would like to see, the superstar guy just put the team on his back like a Patrick Mahomes. It's not going to happen like that with Jared Goff, but you can win in a controlled fashion, taking calculated deep shots and be methodical. It's not going to be the most sexy way to win games, but Jared Goff can lead this football team to a lot of wins. I just hope that one day he deserves it to be one of those guys that can hoist the Lombardi Trophy.
Stick is coming on the air to complain about, I'm sure, the Houston Texans game he's going to complain about, right?
No, not talking about the Texans. Okay. I'm going to talk about the Chicago Bears game 2 years ago on Thanksgiving. What do you mean he's not the type of guy that can bring you back down 2 scores? He did it. I've seen it. You've seen it.
Stick, we're not talking about the regular season. It's a completely different game. Many would argue that based on the money that he's paid, all right, watching the NFL, Jared Goff should have led that team as a 9.5-point favorite to win. Guys like, maybe I could argue, guys like Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes in that legendary status could have led the Detroit Lions. But once he got rocked, it was over. Jared Goff, look, Stick, you understand this. This is a talented quarterback that everybody understands what he brings to the table. But you look at it, there are weaknesses in his game that at the highest level of football, not against the Bears in the regular season, against a young, inexperienced Commanders team that is new to the postseason, you should be able to kind of look a little bit better. And against teams like, against opportunities where you have, in the postseason against the 49ers when things are going chaotic, you look at it and you say, all right, can Jared Goff elevate a team around him when things are going disastrously? And unfortunately, at this point in time, still no rings. So I just think that you just got to have a lot of good things going well for Jared Goff to have. And look, he's one bad game away. We've all seen it now where if he's bad, it's really bad with turnovers and accuracies and having a situation in which I felt like maybe if Jared Goff performed a little bit better against the Commanders, you maybe win that game.
So we're talking about the same Jared Goff, though, that went head-to-head with everybody's favorite in this town, Matthew Stafford, and beat him in a playoff game, correct? And the same Jared Goff who went head-to-head with Maz's guy, Baker Mayfield, beat him the very next week in a tight game and had to go down the field and take over the game. So we can talk about the bad performances, but you can't forget the good ones too, John.
No one's forgetting them. But at this point in time, we've seen him in the Super Bowl, and in that performance had 3 points where Bill Belichick had one of his most masterful performances. He picked them apart and exposed every single one of his weaknesses and exposed what Jared Goff is not. Now, of course, Stick, we all know Jared Goff can win a lot of games, can win you playoff games, can get you to the NFC title game, can probably get the Lions to the Super Bowl. But if you're telling me right now, what's my opinion? Do I think he can win a Super Bowl because of Jared Goff? No. I think you need to have everybody healthy. You need to have everybody clicking. You need to have him, making sure that the connection with Jameson Williams is strong, Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I look at it like this is a team that will win in spite of Jared Goff, not because of him.
So my question to you then, who's the one guy, if he goes down, decimates the entire season?
If one guy goes down, decimates the entire season, Well, of course, it would be the starting quarterback, but I would also think Jahmyr Gibbs, too. If he goes down, that makes things a lot more complicated for this offense.
But that's what I was saying. So you can't have it both ways. Either he is the most important piece, because if he goes down, your season's done, or he's not.
Well, Stick, I'm going to tell you this. All right, you're investing in this guy $50 million, and every single year that now we've kind of going on to his 5th year in Detroit, we're still hoping that he can take this team. You're not going into the year going, yeah, right now, as we speak, the Detroit Lions are not the favorite to win the Super Bowl.
And that's fine. I don't care about being the favorites. Were the Eagles the favorites?
That's the only thing I care about. The only thing you care about
they weren't,
is at the end of the year, Stick, the only thing you care about at the end of the year is, do the Detroit Lions win the Super Bowl?
Right.
Everything else is hyperbole and hope and wish.
And I believe the guy that was top 5 in MVP voting, I believe the guy that has better stats than Patrick Mahomes over the past 3 years, I believe the guy that has taken the Lions from the basement to the ceiling and almost to the promised land is the guy that's going to lead us there. Doubters can doubt, but we've all seen what he's done. He's the best quarterback to ever wear the Honolulu blue, period.
Oh.
But that's really, in the end, a byproduct of the fact the Lions have had really crappy quarterbacks. And so you look at it, and I don't compare Jared Goff to Scott Mitchell. I compare Jared Goff to Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady and guys that are in the upper echelon of quarterbacks and guys that can win Super Bowls. And until he does, he's still a guy that is going to be ravaged with question marks. Now, you're in the hope category. That's great. I do think that he is a quarterback with a lot of skills. But does he have the last couple skills that you need to win a Super Bowl? I have more question marks than you do.
Oh, yeah. See, I think he does. I've seen it, and we're going to see it.
You haven't seen it. You haven't seen nothing. You haven't seen no rings. You've seen him get to – you've seen him get close.
I've seen him do more. I've seen him do – I've seen him do more in 3 years with the Lions than 12 years of Matthew Stafford. I've seen him win 2 home playoff games. I've seen him win more playoff games by himself than the entire run of Lions players that have ever put on a jersey or a helmet. So, like, those things are indicators to me that he's very capable of it. Now, I don't know how you could see those things and then say he's still not the guy. That, to me, is just it blows my mind. It blows my mind. And you got to remember, Andy Reid wasn't a good coach till he won. But, he was probably a good coach before then, too.
He was a good coach until he got the best quarterback, until he upgraded at the quarterback spot. And many would argue that, the Detroit Lions with Jared Goff might have a ceiling. And it might not be at a championship level. And, look, I look at it and say, yes, again, that is a benefit. I do think that in the framework of when you have Jared Goff have a team that's built around him with a general manager that knows all his skills, that's great, but there's still one limitation in that there are times when he's pressured at a significant rate and things are going haywire all around him. He didn't have his best game you can't have your worst game of the year in the postseason against a team like the Commanders. And so now it just gets tougher every single year. And the question mark is going to be, can Jared Goff raise his game? Has he peaked? Some people say he has. Others like you, will sit there and praise him for being better than Matthew Stafford. That doesn't do a lot for me. I'm looking at it like, all right, I'm going to need this year in 2025 or in 2026, where this window is ever so close with this group of talent. The window is never going to be closed, I don't think, with Brad Holmes and the level of talent evaluation that he has. But I do have doubts because I haven't seen it, and I think that a great defensive coordinator at this point in time can really do some things to mess with Jared Goff.
Yeah, great defensive coordinators can mess with Tom Brady, can mess with Patrick Mahomes. We've seen it in Super Bowls, right?
Rings. Like, look, those guys have rings.
Yeah, but look at the situation when they've lost their rings.
Right now, Jared Goff is still a wannabe. He's a wannabe quarterback.
I mean, he's been to the championship game. He's taken the Lions further. If it wasn't for maybe some incidental drops by one Josh Reynolds, I think maybe potentially he could get us to the Super Bowl. So, if you're going to acknowledge the full circle of all this, you got to acknowledge the players around him need to be better too.
Absolutely. Like I said, he's a good
he's turned a 4th-round pick and Amon-Ra St. Brown into a Pro Bowler.
I question if he's a championship-level quarterback until I see it. So I'm more of a prove it. Yeah. You're more of a believer. I want to see it.
So how do you feel about Josh Allen?
I feel like Josh Allen's a very good, strong-arm quarterback.
Not
very
championship
athletic,
level,
mobile,
though.
But now he's not championship level. I do think that right now he's behind Lamar Jackson, and I would put him third in the AFC.
Well, Lamar Jackson's not championship level either. Lamar's not championship
game.
level either, though, according to your standards.
No, Lamar Jackson has question marks in terms of his ability to get over the hump in a tough AFC. I do think that in games.
He's
where
a wannabe,
you need him
though.
to get over the hump. He's got to do some more things. He's got to elevate. But also too, he's a lot younger than Jared Goff at this point.
Well, he's a wannabe.
Got time.
That's the thing. So that's the thing. Like if you lump Jared Goff into those conversations, you kind of got to make sure you're holding everybody to the same standards.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, Stick. In my mind, I would look at the quarterback of the Detroit Lions. I think that if Jared Goff was in the AFC, we have no conversation about him being relevant at all. He's lucky he's in the NFC.
Wow, that's conjecture. I mean, when he was in the AFC, or when he was, either way.
He's never been in the AFC.
I know.
Listen,
I think that's still that's opinion, though.
Jared Goff, at this point in time, has a great skill set as a pocket passer, but this league has gotten into the point where these defensive ends are a lot more athletic, and there are a lot more. These linebackers and defensive ends and interior defensive linemen are so quick and fast. The pocket is collapsing ever so quick. So, in my mind, I just think that I just wish if Jared Goff had, in my opinion, if Jared Goff had mobility more than he had, I think he'd have 3 rings by now.
Jared Goff is 21-15 against the AFC, just to let you know.
Sure, he's a good player. Like this. Good player, but I'm talking about in the postseason.
He'd be awful in the AFC, except he has a winning record against the AFC. But he'd be awful.
I'm talking about if he gets to the postseason.
Oh, okay. All right.
If he gets to the postseason in the AFC, it would just be like the talk surrounding Josh Allen.
Maz, we need to take these two guys out drinking sometime.
Love you, John. Appreciate you, John.
No, I appreciate you, Stick. You're doing great work.
Doc, I got a question for you. While we're talking about...
First of all, Doc, are you okay?
Absolutely. That was a 10-9 round for the Doc, as every listener would attest to.
There it was.
So, Doc, I got to ask you, while we're talking about Jared Goff and whether he can win the whole thing, I personally am of the belief that John Morton coming here is going to bring a little bit more of a conservative offense. I don't believe that the Lions need to play desperately offensively like they did to get out of the basement that Stick just talked about. I hear Ben Johnson talking about only liking electric, huge game plays and game-breaking plays, and there was a lot of times, specifically the Commanders game, where I would have just liked to have seen them be a little more conservative and, run the ball down their throat. At this point, I see Johnny Morton as a guy that's going to come in here and kind of keep it simple, stupid, because this team is good enough where they don't have to play again, like I said, desperately. Do you think that Johnny Morton's style of play is going to suit what we have put together on offense better than what we saw with Ben Johnson?
Yeah, well, when we spoke to him at the Combine, had a chance to sit down with him for about 30 minutes with local reporters in Indianapolis. And what he said was he likes the explosive plays. He likes the idea of getting Jameson Williams involved. And when you got a weapon like Jameson Williams, you got to test that out. You got to see what this connection can continue to grow and look like with Jared Goff and Jameson Williams. And so, look, I do think that it's wise in regards to the abilities that this offense has in terms of its strength. It's one of those best opportunities to run the football to establish the run. But I do think Amon-Ra St. Brown wants to be a target more in the run, more as, beyond depth of target of 6 yards. He has an opportunity to do so much more. Jameson Williams, I do think a comeback player that's going to put up more stats. I think John Morton's going to unlock the offensive potential even further of Sam Laporta. And when you do that, when you have all of these weapons, I just think that there's so many things that John Morton can do that will accentuate the strengths of this team. And you also got to remember, too, that when Jahmyr Gibbs has probably a potential MVP type season, I just think you get the ball in his hands, too, in the screen game and opportunity. So John Morton, I do think, likes explosive plays. I do think that you're going to see a similar number, maybe even an uptick just a little bit more in some shots deep, because Jameson Williams, man, when you got speed like that, he can get past. He can get past these cornerbacks and get 1 or 2 yards open.
Hey, Doc, we've kept you way long. Thanks to Stick coming in and hijacking our show. I had a lot more to ask you, but we'll do it another day, man, because you're on vacation, and we want to make sure you take care of your family first. So make sure you guys follow John Doc Macaroon, SI.com, covers the Lions, as well as anybody out there. We love Dave Burkett and the rest of the guys, but we love our guy, Doc Macaroon, as well. Check him out, Detroit Sports Podcast. Hey, we'll see you again, brother.
And Doc,
thank you. Anytime. I'll stay as long as you want. And just remind Stick that you got to have a ring in order
Yeah.
to be able to talk like he's in the best quarterback
I
class.
get it.
He's second. Listen, to tier 1 are the ones you can win with because of them.
Yeah.
Goff is in a very high tier 2 rate.
That's good.
But I do think the opportunities are there for Jared Goff to be that guy. But it's not unreasonable to have doubts because I come from a defensive mind, and if I was a defensive coordinator, every single time you get to play Goff, I'd be chomping at the bit to blitz his ass.
I feel that. And listen, Doc, you're not going to miss Beasley. I promise.
Thanks, Anson. We'll talk soon.
All right, Doc. John Doc Macaroon, SI.com. Hey, he just hung up on us.
He did.
There you go.
I think he
definitely
hung up on stick.
He
actually.
did.
Yeah, he hung,
hung
up on stick.
He did. You know what? It is what it is. I get what Stick is saying. He has taken the Lions further than a lot of the other quarterbacks. Eric Kramer got us to the championship game.
Hey,
if you
Bobby
remember.
Lane is the best Lions quarterback of all time. 3 rings. The thing that I'm always going to side with Stick when it comes down to Jared Goff is the quarterbacks that you guys are talking about, there's 3 every 10 years in the NFL, okay? And to get your hands on one, it's very, very difficult, and you still don't always win. If Trent Dilfer can win a championship, Jared Goff can get it done.
Brad Johnson, you can go up and down the line on Super Bowls. But you need those teams that great defenses.
Yep,
Now you're talking about.
and we got a hell of a defense this year, my friend.
We do. We do. Where are we going, Pete?
We're going to Caesars Sportsbook, baby,
All right.
because guess what? We are 9 days. Jared Goff for MVP. There you go. There's your bet. Scan the QR code above my head. Use the code word Woodward1000. Open up your brand new Caesars Sportsbook. Yes, that one right there. You got it. Yeah, see, there it is. It's Ricky. It's right above you. There it is. I see it up there. Scan that QR code. Get in your NFL future bets now. Jared Goff for MVP. Lions for NFC Championship. Get them in. Scan the QR code. Use the code word Woodward1000. Open up your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. Make your first deposit and your first bet of $20 or more. If that first bet loses, you get your first bet back as a bonus bet up to $1,000. Scan the QR code. Use the code word Woodward1000. Open up your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasta salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
Well, hello, everybody. What do I got here for them? Let me find my White Claw. Hold on one second. Let's see. White Claw. Oh, White Claw is going to be at second best bar coming
July
up.
11th.
July 11th. Woo! How about it?
Friday.
Join the heavies. It's Tiger time, baby. Brought to you by White Claw and Van Johnson Law. It's the last stop on the Tigers White Claw tour. Get on out there and see the best team in baseball. Your Detroit Tigers. 50. How many wins we got?
56.
A lot.
57.
A lot of wins.
57.
Yes.
And 34.
57. That's
Played
almost 58.
They played a Rays tonight. You're right. It's almost 58. And if they sweep, Ricky, they could go to 60.
What?
Wins. How about
That's
that?
almost 61.
60 wins.
Math gonna math.
If they sweep the rest of the week, they could be 63 wins at the All-Star
That's
break.
crazy. Now,
How about
63,
that? How about
that's
that?
almost 64.
True.
Almost.
Welcome back, Woodward Sports. It's Maz and Anson along with Pete and, Abbott and Costello over there. Ricky and
Who's
Pete.
on first base?
Exactly.
And
What's on
stick,
second?
Stick running around ruined somebody's day somewhere.
Hey, we're at Cherry Creek.
That's hilarious.
Yes, come on out and see us. Detroit Sports Media Association Golf Scramble. No one won that 50 grand, huh?
No,
Nah,
one
man.
How'd they have to do it? What, the
So
hole
I
in
think
one?
they went out. That's either the 125 or the 150
150
stick.
at least,
So they
yeah.
went out to that stick, and whoever hold out, they took 4 guys. Whoever hold out got 50,000, and no one wins. So,
So
I guess Neil gets the 50,000. I guess.
I guess.
So, but no winner.
President
No
of
winner.
the-
No one
No
hold
winner?
out.
Well, that's good because we're going to have a winner, too.
Whoa,
All right,
good
guys, you
segue.
still got
He's a
about 10
professional.
minutes to get it in. We're cutting it off at 3:45
Yep.
today.
Get it in.
Tomorrow, Braylon's
That's what
going
she
to
said.
autograph his rookie card, and I'm going to send it to you. So get those names in for the
That's
prize
right,
wheel.
baby.
Shout out Dante151 and Rando Smalls, our legends in the chat carrying us so far. Get them in. Get them in, guys.
What golf course is Braylon on today? Did I miss
All right.
that?
He's with Lomas Brown.
That's
I'm not
right.
sure where they're at,
Okay.
but Lomas Brown
Somewhere,
has his,
somewhere expensive.
Yeah,
That's right.
he's got his first golf outing with Lomas Brown, which is
Nice.
We love Low. The
Low down with Low Brown.
We love
I
Low.
think they're at
Love
the
Low
Crazy Clown mini golf course
Oh,
right
no.
That would be
Oh.
hilarious.
now. Shout out Crazy Clown.
I could dominate the mini golf course.
I bet you could.
I could.
So you
I
play
bet you
mini
could.
golf, but not golf.
Now, do you
Correct.
like
Interesting.
Do you bring like an actual
No,
real
no,
putter, or
no.
just get the little
No, I
rental
get,
putter?
I get what they give me.
Okay,
Ah,
and,
you don't bring
and
your
you
own
crush
putter?
it with that.
I always
huh?
get the blue ball because it reminds me of myself.
You getting blue balls?
Yeah, I get the blue ball.
Just
I
one.
always get the blue ball.
Just one.
Get 2.
Attaboy.
Just in case. I said it reminds me of myself. You didn't have to joke. I already had the joke. I
didn't know you. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I didn't know you were going into that joke.
Married, what?
I thought you were completely oblivious to what you were saying there, friend. I'm not
Married
even gonna lie.
27 years for crying out loud. What do you think?
God.
Hey, the Kevin Durant trade is official, guys. It has become the NBA's first ever 7-team trade. Yes, the Houston Rockets and a bunch of other teams got together and swapped Kevin Durant for a bunch of meat.
The Suns, the Lakers, the Brooklyn Nets, the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Atlanta Hawks, and the Golden State.
It's a big nothing of a trade. Rasheer Fleming, the kid who went number 31 overall, the 2 trades were made on day 2 of the draft to hop up for a guy that could have easily gone in the first round, was moved to Phoenix in that deal. Otherwise, you can largely ignore the second-round picks and no-name players that were included in there.
Right.
It's all about
money
Mr.
and
Green
picks, right?
and
Money
Mr. Durant.
Yeah, and money and picks.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Money and picks.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Basically. How about this, guys? This one took me by surprise. The NBA wants to expand. I know that. But they might want to expand as early as, not this season coming up, but the following season. They want to add 2 more teams.
Wow.
Obviously, the favorites are Seattle. They'll get the Sonics back.
Yes.
And Vegas, which will probably be LeBron's team. He's going to probably be an owner. Probably be, I hope not. I certainly hope not.
He'll end up like his school.
But nonetheless, he'll probably bring his son with him. His son will be a player coach. Anyway, there are other teams. There are other cities that have been mentioned. How about these cities? Louisville.
Anson.
Oh, look at that little guy.
I see him.
Little chickmunk.
A little chipmunk.
Another Dorito.
Is that Alvin, Theodore, or Simon?
That's Chip. Chip and Dale.
Shut the broadcast down. There's a chipmunk.
Anyway,
We're out of Doritos.
Louisville is a team in Kentucky. Now, ABA days, they had the Kentucky Colonels.
Yes, sir.
Led by Dan Issel.
What is that? Can you explain to the audience that's under the age of 50 what the
You don't know
ABA is?
The ABA, Ricky. The American Basketball
It's
Association.
where the Spurs and the Pacers and the Nets all came from.
Yes,
Gotcha.
and the Nuggets.
Buy your war bonds.
And the Flint Tropics.
Remember the red,
Good
white, and
question.
blue ball, Ricky?
No, I
no,
don't.
okay.
No, I don't. Again, under the age of 40.
Buy
ever
your
hear
war
it?
bonds.
You ever hear of Dr. J?
Yes.
He played in that league.
Oh, got you.
And then the NBA absorbed
Did
the
do that.
ABA,
Okay,
and
got
they
you.
took
And what
on a
year
few
was
teams
this?
too.
Have you heard of
77?
it? 76.
76. All right, everybody got that? Back in 1976.
Buy your war bonds.
You just jump over it, not realize it was 50 years ago.
Have you heard of George Gervin, who was in our studio about a
Yes.
month ago?
Yes.
He was in that league.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha. Go.
Can I
continue.
move
I'm
on?
mildly disappointed in you right now, Rick. I'm not going to lie.
It wasn't for me. It was for the audience,
Okay.
man.
Hey.
He jumps over it so fast.
The Indiana Pacers. 3-time ABA champion
Got
Indiana
you.
Pacers.
Got you. 1975?
Yeah, they won in 72, one of those
Got
years.
you.
The final ABA champion
Got you.
was the Nets with Dr. J.
Got
Beat the
you.
Nuggets with
There we
David
go.
Thompson.
Their
There we
first and last championship.
Correct.
Forever.
Before the cell phone.
So anyway, we move on. If it's not Louisville, how about San Diego, where the Clippers, used to be?
Yep.
How about Pittsburgh?
They could use a team.
They could definitely use
I
it,
bet
Dave.
they'll wear red and black,
man.
or white, yellow and black.
Yellow
sorry.
and black.
I screwed that one
absolutely.
up.
You got it.
Here's one for you, Ricky.
What's up?
Pittsburgh had an ABA team
Okay.
called the Pipers,
The Pipers.
owned by Pat Boone, who was a singer, a crooner, back
I'm
in the 60s.
familiar with Pat.
Have you heard of Pat Boone?
Yes, I have heard of Pat Boone.
His daughter.
Why
Debbie
were they the
had a big hit.
Pipers?
They just named them the Pittsburgh
Pipers.
Pipers. That was their name.
Okay.
They didn't last long. They folded pretty quick.
Wild.
Kansas City
Yes.
is another city.
That's one shit I
The
want.
Kings used to be in
Yes.
Kansas City
Yes.
with Nate Archibald.
Yes.
Did not know
Have
that.
you heard of Tiny Nate Archibald?
No.
Okay. Let's move on. Montreal,
No.
No.
they've never had a team.
We'll
maybe,
pass.
maybe before my day even.
What are they going to name them? The Argonauts?
Maybe the Argos will
Like they
be
name
back.
everything else?
How about the Vancouver Grizzlies?
No,
They
we
come
don't
back.
need a Canadian
It
team.
didn't work
Didn't work
already
out.
I know.
once.
And here's the best one for Ricky. Mexico City.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Oh boy.
Mexico
Can't
City.
wear green.
I'd be super down for the Mexico City
I
one.
know you would.
I listen.
Cream on water.
Seattle.
You'd move there and be there. What do you call it? What do you call
Let's
yourself?
run it.
Cola.
What do you call yourself again?
A
The
liaison.
legend.
Liaison.
No.
A
What do you do?
liaison.
You yell at people.
Oh, the heckling.
Yeah, you're a heckler.
Oh, the
There
heckler.
you go.
Got you.
You're a
En
heckler.
español.
Yeah.
I look at this list of teams, and I still am pissed off that the Supersonics do not exist anymore. Now they are the OKC Thunder, and
Correct.
they've won their second championship in their franchise history. I think that they should be on the very, very, very short list to
They're
get
getting
one of
one.
those.
Yeah, they're getting one.
I would imagine so. And then it just seems like everything is in line for Vegas.
Oh yeah.
But the whole situation with the Dallas Mavericks and the trade, the conspiracy that we talked about, the fact that they have this gambling complex that they shot down in the vote last year. They have to wait 2 more years. And if they vote that down, the owners of the Mavericks have already threatened to move that franchise to Vegas.
Oh, God.
Now, whether that's happening or not, whether the groundwork's been laid, that's the only way that I don't see Vegas getting a franchise is if they already have plans to move the Mavericks to Vegas in a couple of years. I guess out of all of these teams, I love the idea of Louisville having a team because it's a great basketball city. And it's a great city in general. But if anybody has the fan base to support a new team that won't fail, it's absolutely Pittsburgh.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Yep. I agree.
I don't know about that.
I mean, listen, it's not Montreal or Vancouver. You can't put either one of them or even Mexico City, despite how big it is.
Doesn't Toronto need a brother, a sister?
Do they?
No.
They did have one.
No.
I know, but no.
Only if they become the 51st
need that?
state.
I mean, why can't
Well-
it be the Calgary Crazy Horses?
Well, how about you put Seattle and Vancouver in because there's a rivalry.
I mean,
There's a rivalry. They're right next to each other.
Cleveland,
True.
Pittsburgh.
True. To me, I just don't see any other fan base that compares on here to what Pittsburgh brings. KC maybe.
And Seattle.
Well, Seattle, I'm already assuming that's the number
gotcha,
one. So that second team, to me, I think it's Vegas. Yep. But again, if there's something to that whole deal there after they made the trade and to get Luke out of there, I think to really kind of hamstring their fan base into supporting this new gambling project, if that happens, it's for sure Vegas. If it doesn't happen, then we're going to see one of these other cities because in a couple of years it will be the Vegas Mavericks. But to me, I can't get away from Pittsburgh or Kansas City as that second team.
One of the reasons that Mark Cuban gave up most of his ownership is because he is investing in this gambling thing, and they want to have an arena. They want to have a district where everything is there, and their arena is not old.
No.
American Airlines is not old, so I'm not sure if that would be included.
Yeah,
with it.
There's actually a whole second city that Cuban and this woman have bought up that they're trying to get past. So there's a lot in the works for the Mavericks. I don't see them leaving. So I think this is a done deal with Seattle and Vegas. But obviously there's a few other teams that have thrown their hat in the ring. To me, it's Vegas. I get it. You want to go to a game, but there's no loyalty.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
So
They're transient fans.
like Pittsburgh,
Right, exactly.
you put a franchise in Pittsburgh, it's going to be there in 50 years guaranteed.
Right.
Yeah.
Now
I
Vegas,
agree.
they support the Golden Knights a lot. They love their hockey team. Now the Raiders.
It doesn't hurt when you win a championship, right? When you
Right.
get there.
That's a good.
And
thing.
it's hot. They go there
Yeah.
for the cool off anyway. That's why they're there.
Right.
That's a good point.
All right, it's hot.
Hey, keep it with Dallas for a minute. Obviously, they got railroaded with the Luka deal, but they get AD back now. He's got another year or two in him,
And
Healthy.
Kyrie back.
and now you get Cooper Flag.
Kyrie.
Coop.
Listen, are they that much? Are they that worse off?
And don't forget Derek Lively.
Yes.
Derek Lively is an absolute
back.
player.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to their depth. It's going to come down to their health. You got a guy.
Don't forget Clay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Clay's in the starting lineup, too. I
Yeah.
forget about him all the time. But you look at this team and you look at Kyrie coming back from a catastrophic injury. Now, he's come back before, but he's all speed. Obviously, he's an amazing handle and all that. But if his speed is zapped, it's going to hold them back a little bit. And then AD's got to play 70 games. He can't come out and play 52, 58 games for them. They've got to be healthy going to the playoffs. But I will say, the way that they play defense, and we didn't really get a chance to see this team fully healthy with AD man in the middle. This team plays D, and they should have no shortage of scoring options. They're going to give OKC hell if they end up in the playoffs healthy.
We'll find out, right? But how about these Pistons now? Now it's kind of been quiet here now for the last week. Now that all the frenzy is over, all the fireworks are over. We did think the Pistons would get involved with another sign and trade.
They did get involved.
Right.
We just haven't gotten news yet.
Right. So what's your news on that?
Well,
What's
unfortunately,
the best case scenario for them?
that's a great question.
Is it
So it's-
Malik Monk?
It's a great question. I don't think, as much as I would absolutely love to have Malik Monk here, remember, the Kings were in the Western Conference Finals just 2 years ago.
Right.
And the fact that they were barely a play-in team, they're blowing things up. Malik Monk was one of their best playoff performers. The guy just steps up for the playoffs. To me, I would love to have him over Karis LeVert or over Duncan Robinson.
But that's not going to happen.
Well, no, it could still happen. Malik Monk can absolutely still come here.
I know, but you're not getting rid of Duncan Robinson.
No, you're not getting rid of them. If you get Malik Monk, he's going to play more minutes than either one of those guys.
I see.
My situation is when you've brought those two guys in, which are pretty much direct replacements for Tim Hardaway Jr. and Malik Beasley, you bring back Ivy and you add in this Chaz Lanier, you have more three-point shooters than you did last year. My issue with this team is they did not address their one glaring need, and that is a stretch big man, somebody that can hit the three but can also rim protect. So right now when you look at this deal, they have stated publicly that this will be a sign and trade deal, which will either bring us back a player up to $22 million or it will get us that $14.4 million trade exception, which we then can take around the league and shop. A name that I mentioned a week or two ago was Sam Hauser from the Celtics. This is a guy that could come in and play a very similar role to what we have in Karis LeVert and in Duncan Robinson. A three-point specialist, a gritty guy. And then, of course, Malik Monk, to me, would be the most versatile scorer that we would be bringing in this offseason that we didn't already have on the team before. But the big news right now, over the last 24 hours, is a possible trade of Nikola Vukovic for beef stew. And I
don't know about that one.
Well, and most Piston fans don't know about
That's
that.
because we like our guys.
We love our guys.
Yeah.
And beef stew, listen, there's very few people outside of Rick Mahorn that I can say have endeared themselves to the Pistons fans of this state because
he's a bad boy.
He is a bad boy. And he's one of the greatest rim protectors in the league. Offensively, he is challenged. And at best, he's going to be a 31% shooter from three to the
I
point
don't
where
want him to shoot
they
from
don't
three.
even let him.
Right.
They don't even let him. However, I've said this before, half of the league considers him to be a three-point shooting defensive big man. So there is tremendous value for a guy that's locked into a $15 million contract for 3 more years. So if you trade him for Nikola Vukovic, what you lose in defense, you more than make up for in offense. Vukovic can rebound. We know that. But he can shoot the three, very cerebral player. Our offense would certainly be better while our defense would take a little bit of a dip. If this is a straight-up deal, considering the fact that we lost out on the Miles Turners and the Naz Reeds and the Bobby Portises of free agency this year, Nikola Vukovic is the one last piece this team needs to get out of the Eastern Conference, and that is that stretch 4 or 5. This guy comes in and does it. My issue is he's on a 1-year deal. You'd have to kind of look at extending him, but he's an older guy. Doesn't really fit into this young core, has never really gone far in the playoffs, so I hate to lose beef stew, but if we can't figure out how to find ourselves a stretch 4 or 5 through this sign and trade that we're conducting right now with for Schroeder, Vukovic might be the deal that they have to make.
Well, we got time, right?
And not a whole lot.
I know.
Not a whole lot.
I know. Hey, do we need a break, Pete? Or
Nah, just keep going.
All right. So how many more minutes for the wheel of?
We got 1 more minute.
Yeah,
we got
more
any more super chats to catch up on?
Yeah, we got one more here. One more here from Dante151. He's right on topic here. Anyone excited for Pistons Summer League ball?
Oh,
No.
absolutely. Absolutely. Chaz Lanier, I can't wait to take a look at him. I believe that Ron Holland is down there as well and is going to be playing. Somebody might have to fact check me on that, but Ron Holland needs minutes. With the moves that we've made this offseason, he's kind of in a logjam right now. They slot him in as the backup power forward. This is a guy who's barely 6'8", who plays a lot more 6'5", 6'6", than being a backup power forward. So, to me, I want to see him get a lot of minutes, and I want to see what this Chaz Lanier kid can do. Elite athleticism. You know, if you look at the numbers that he brought out of that NBA Combine, he was a top 5 guy when it comes to agility. 6'6", long, but he can shoot the three from NBA range. This guy, 26 feet, no problem. So I want to see those two guys and what they can do.
Hey, here's a couple for Stick on the chat. Gary Meyer. Doc should debate Stick every week. Doc's objective, keeping it real. Stick just wants to hang out with Goff.
Hey, he does.
That's good. That's a good thing. Stick. Steve O. Wait until you get Goff versus Mahomes. Okay.
That's because Steve-O thought he was going to, Goff hasn't won against Lamar Jackson. It's like, okay,
Right.
Patrick
Okay.
Mahomes hasn't won against Jared Goff. If we want to play these games, I have all the counterpoints for all the haters. And, like, people are saying, Doc won the debate. How did Doc win the debate? He said he would be bad in the AFC. Wrong. We have stats that can prove that. Then he backtracked on what Lamar Jackson is, because if Goff isn't it, then neither is Lamar Jackson if you're using the Super Bowl
He
standard.
is 1-0 against us, though.
Who?
Lamar.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. I don't care. But Super Bowl, right? Aren't we? Isn't that the conversation? So
is.
I'll have the Jared Goff thing all day. Like I've debated so many people on this. It's ridiculous. And they all have the same little stupid talking points.
But do you understand what he means? Now, he's not disparaging Goff.
Yeah, he is.
He's just saying
He's a known hater.
He's just saying he hasn't won the big game yet. So how is he different than And then you brought up Josh Allen, which I thought was pretty good.
Well, and I'll also bring up, one guy has taken 2 franchises just as far as they've ever been. Right? He was the number 1 overall pick in L.A. He took them to a Super Bowl.
Played a hell of a defense.
Right, but everybody, there's people, well, he needs everything perfect around him. Really? So he's just happened to fall in perfect situations everywhere he's gone, even though he's taken over franchises at the very bottom of their existence? Because why are you a number 1 overall pick, Maz? Is that team any good?
No, you stink.
Okay. All right, when he came to the Lions, were they any good?
They stink.
Okay, so he's taken 2 teams that stunk, 1 to the Super Bowl, 1 to the NFC Championship, and won more playoff games than anybody else in a Lions uniform. Sooner or later, the common denominator has to stand out to you. It's Jared Goff.
Maz, I got to say, I don't think that our followers, everybody in the chat, everybody watching and listening right now, understands that Stick has been sharpening his golf sword for 4 years
Yes.
on the whetstone known as Easy.
The problem is, like, my thing with golf started when we first got. You're sit here, Rick. You're fine, Ricky. You're fine.
Cuddle up.
My thing with Jared Goff is all I said at first, and Anson can attest to this, is let's give the guy a chance, because on paper he looks great, right? 26 years old when we got him, been to a Super Bowl, #1 overall pick. If I slid that across the table to you in any negotiation, you say, hell yeah, I want that quarterback to be my quarterback of the future. That sounds great to me. We'd take it 100 times out of 100. But people are just like, he's a loser, he sucks. Well, then he comes. Apparently, he's not a loser. He doesn't suck, and those people won't get off that initial reaction to Jared Goff, and that's what drives me nuts. It was their first, he's washed. Oh, it was all Sean McVay. Okay, now it's all Ben Johnson. So was it all Sean McVay? Was it all Ben Johnson? Like, at some point, it's Jared Goff.
No doubt.
See, we got chants going on.
There you go.
There it is.
The man of the people.
He is.
My thing is this. There's always going to be 26 quarterbacks that are not as good as Jared Goff in the league.
And there's always going to be 31 that don't win a Super Bowl that year.
100%. And realistically, if you're looking at Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes, how the hell do you get these guys? You either have to give up everything the way that the Rams gave up everything in order to get Stafford, or you have to draft them. And year after year, decade after decade, there's just 4 or 5 guys that are truly difference makers at the quarterback position. And it's hell to get your hands on them. Look at what it did for the Lions to give up one of those guys, supposedly. Obviously, that's the best trade in history because it's the only time we've ever seen one of those kind of crazy trades lead to a championship. But 9 times out of 10, you're giving up all of your future to secure one of these guys. Jared Goff, with a full, healthy team, there's no reason he can't get to a Super Bowl, and there's the same small amount of reasons that he can't win it when he gets there.
It's the greatest trade for both teams in the history of sports.
All sports.
Brilliant business idea here in the chat by Thomas Woodward. The Goff candy bar. Nuts, caramel, and cream filling. Swallow it down.
Oh, my.
I had 4 on the way in.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate that.
Pause.
I'm going to wait on that.
I'll never understand why people don't like the guy that's taken us to where he's taken us. Like, it makes me sad for those fans. Like, you haven't enjoyed this.
It's been great.
You're really anti anybody on this team at this point?
If they won it 2 years ago, Jared Goff could do no wrong in this city for the rest of his life.
He's on his way there. He's on his way there now.
Well,
he really is.
I mean, I know he is for at least one gentleman.
I can't wait. Like, if they win a Super Bowl.
You mean when? When?
If and when they win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff at quarterback, you guys are going to hate me.
Not me.
Not
me.
I mean, you guys in the general, like, you people. Like, you. Sorry, Rick. In that aspect.
No, I don't like you.
People are going to absolutely despise me, and I'm okay with it because
I hate
you know what?
already.
I know.
They can't be too mad when we got a championship, man.
Oh, they're going to be mad because I'm not going to let them enjoy it. I'm not going to. You doubted the whole time. You didn't think it could happen. Oh, now you're going to celebrate? You can't celebrate. You didn't believe in the guys. Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Dick.
I got receipts, motherfuckers.
We appreciate it, buddy.
All right.
Shout out
Fox 2.
Fox 2.
Cut it off at the end.
Anson, it's all yours, baby.
All right, guys, 3:57. I'm going to go ahead and spin this. I got Rando and Dante. Each, you're separated perfectly, so I'm not going to shuffle this one. Here's the spin. It's spinning.
Spin to win, baby.
Spin to
Pete,
win.
you go ahead and tell us who it lands on.
Oh,
Come on now.
I can't see if that far. You tell us, bro. Ricky will.
Here comes Rick.
Dante
151.
151.
I didn't want to cheat, you know.
Dante is
my
the
man.
winner.
There you go, my friend.
Congrats.
Yet, this should be like Braylon Edwards rookie card number 7 for you, I believe.
Yes.
Start your own thing there,
Start
Dante.
your own.
If you see one on eBay, you know where it came from.
Right, exactly. Tons on eBay.
That's right.
Hey, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. DSMA, Detroit Sports Media Association Golf Scramble here at Cherry Creek Golf Country Club, baby, in Shelby Township. Thanks to my man Anson, Pete, Ricky, Stick. You've been awesome today. Brady, thanks for everything as always. Stay tuned.
Oh, Brady.
The heavyweights are next, folks.
Shout out Doc and Dan.
We'll see you, folks.